Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's foolproof.
The FTFE show. Welcome to the FTFE show. Welcome to the FTFE show. Earth thinks that evolution is real. Chemtrails don't exist, vaccines work. Climate change is happening, we landed on the moon. The FTFE show. Welcome to the FTFE show. Welcome to the FTFE show. Study, it's not alright. Baby, it's not alright.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hello, welcome back once again. We're gonna finish looking at the Witsit Astronomy Live debate, which seemed to me to be more like three monkeys chucking shit at an intelligent person so far, because it's not just Witsit versus Astronomy Live. It's Astronomy Live versus Witsit, fake Dr. Robertson Jenis, and literal shit thrower Alex Stein. I don't know why Tim Paul decided to have three idiots talk to one sane, intelligent person, but yeah. Before we get on with that, though, I do have some sad news, and you may have seen I posted this last night during my stream over on Top Hats Off with Star Trek Lexington. Found out during that unfortunately Globber Mom has passed away. She was she was the best of us, absolutely 100%, and has been struggling with seizures and everything, which turned out to be brain cancer, and unfortunately passed away yesterday. She became a good friend of mine. She worked for the channel quite a bit, did like about 30 videos for the channel. I spoke to her when I was feeling bad and stressed about stuff, and she was absolutely incredible. And the fact that she's gone is a loss to the world. I'm gonna speak to Toon, and we'll try and do some kind of fundraising stream, to go to her family to help out with anything. I don't know when that'll be, but we'll try and arrange something, I'm sure. And yeah, it kind of, it caught me off guard yesterday during the stream. You could probably, if you watched the Lexington stream, you could probably see me as I get the news. I'm quite distraught about it. And yeah, I just wanted everyone to know. Keep her in your hearts and your minds, because the way I see it, no one's ever truly gone if someone remembers them. And Globber Mom gave us all a lot of good memories. Every time I interacted with her, it was just warmth and happiness. So just keep her in your head, keep her in your memories, keep her in your thoughts, and she's never really gone. Yeah. She would have enjoyed seeing me take down Witsit, fake Dr. Jenis and Alex Stein. She very much enjoyed the debate between me and I keep calling him actual Doctor, between me and not a Dr. Jenis. She enjoyed that one. I think that was around about when she joined the channel and stuff. Yeah, so everyone take a minute and just have a thought about Globber Mom. She's not gone if you can remember her. Rest in peace, Globber Mom, and fuck cancer. Yeah, she did have the coolest avatar. Everything about Globber Mom was just cool. Yeah, she'll be missed. She will be absolutely missed. Yeah, can I get a hashtag fuck cancer in the chat, please? I want to see that chat full. Absolutely 100% full of fuck cancer. Okay? For Globber Mum. There we go. There we go. Yes. It's okay to cry, well, guys. Not gonna lie, shed a tear. Feeling a bit choked up again now. She was just awesome. She was just so awesome. Thank you, chat. Thank you. In memory of an amazing person. Right. So, we got an hour through the debate yesterday. And so let's continue on with that. Because, you know, we hate ourselves. If you guys want to laugh, right, have a look through the comments of it. They do not like Witsit. Yeah, me too, Watto. Me too. Oh, that's right, Andy. While we remember, never fully gone. You know what? Once more. Signastep, $5 says, classy intro, Craig, thank you. No, don't thank me. Thank Globber Mom for what she gave us. Some of the best debunks, some of the funniest Sovereign Citizen stuff, and some of the best edits of my debates you will ever fucking see. Her debate shorts were incredible, and, you know, fair play to her that she would sit through my hours and hours long debates and turn it into something half an hour for us to enjoy. I need someone to replace it. Well, no one could ever replace her, but I need someone to keep her legacy alive. And help me with debate shorts in honor of Globber Mom. Just want to quote Super Ghost UK in the chat. It's a scientific fact. Globber Mom was, and always will be, the very best. Man, me too, Stanley. I always look forward to her stuff. Right. On with the stupid. In honor of Globber Mom.
Force equals mass times acceleration. So, M is the mass. So if you get these galaxies are rotating 10 times faster than F equals ma will allow, what you have to do is increase the m of the equation. The m is the dark matter.
So
It's not F equals ma, it's F equals gm1m2 over r squared. Fake Doctorson Genis. Force equals mass times acceleration does not explain the accelerated speed of the rotation of galaxies. Yeah, how do you know that St. Genis is lying? Lips are moving. Dave McKeegan, £2, says cancer is a cunt. Rip Globber Mum. Rest in peace, Globber Mum. Abso-fucking-lutely.
you said you were a physicist?
I was a physics major.
Physics major.
Yeah, but I don't.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't the physics major. Watch him. Right, guys? I want you to look at his eyes as he answers that question.
You said you were a physicist?
I was a physics major.
Physics major.
You see that? He was like that, and he looked down and to the left as he was talking. That's literally body language denoting that somebody lies.
Yeah, but I don't have a degree in physics.
I had a conversation with a professor once where this was 20 years ago. We were talking about string theory. I was reading a book on string theory and...
Tim, nothing to do with this debate. You've actually been a terrible mod, and you've not really allowed the conversation about Flat Earth to actually even occur, or really let Astronomy Live have that much time. The idiots have talked. Good job.
Dimensions, and he said something like, yeah, well, now it's M theory, and there's another dimension they just added. And he was like, the issue is that it seems sometimes...
Monkey Cat Pat Pat, $2 says, will Astronomy Live be able to get a word in? Well, no. Tim's talked more than Astronomy Live, and he's just supposed to be the fucking host between these people. ROCH for €6 says, been trying to stay away from Flat Earth retards for years, but they're everywhere. Keep up the good work, FTFE. In honor of Globber Mum, I will never ever stop.
Like a lot of these guys have dedicated their whole lives to the research of this unified theory where they're trying to figure out what's going on, and to learn that 30, 40 years of research may have been in the complete wrong direction would be emotionally shattering to these people. Yeah. So instead of saying maybe I'm wrong, they say add another.
No, that's not true, Tim. Right? There is nothing more exciting for a scientist than to find out they were wrong. For a scientist to find out that they were wrong about something and have more work to do figuring stuff out is what they want. If someone studying a field for 30 years had been going in a direction, and after 30 years they were like, Eureka! This is the way to do it. They wouldn't be shattered. They would be so excited that they're getting closer to the answer. Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, "Ring the Globber Mum emoji." Let me check some up. Right, I need another 71 members before I can add another emoji.
Another dimension to make it work.
Exactly. Yeah. Same with relativity. Actually, PhD physicist Robert Bennett, you know him. Shout out to him. I talked to him quite a bit. He said basically it appears you're just going to have to wait for some of them to die. You know, like that's actually what I was told. This is a really fascinating conversation because I was reading a book on a couple different books on quantum theory and things like this.
I don't think Robert Bennett's actually a PhD either. Borg Emporia for $5 with their 5th super chat on the channel. Thank you, collective. My favourite Globber Mom was the edit where she left FTFE apologising for not mentioning that my first super chat is my first super chat. Here is my 5th super chat. Thank you very much, Borg Emporia. I am so glad that you are here with us.
And what I was told was major shifts in science happen when generations of scientists die.
Yep.
Because they over a lifetime, they develop a view of the world that they're emotionally attached to. And that's not an insult. And it's not to say that they're irrational or angry. It's that they see the world in this one way and they see all these pieces. And it's hard for them to turn around and look at something different. Someone who's young comes in and is navigating the space from a different perspective, and they might know.
This is all completely fucking irrelevant to the flat earth debate. What is going on? Siglastec for $2 says, how many stupid chats have I done? A lot, Siglastec. You also done some super chats and some super cats and some super hats. F Grudge donated 10 memberships. Thank you very much. And then, oh no, it's Andy donated 1 membership. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. That's amazing.
Notice something. So when the older generation dies, I mean, this literally explains geocentrism and heliocentrism. There's a generational shift, and then people now viewed the universe and it became mainstream conventional that we orbit around the sun. When one generation goes, the new generation believes something totally different.
Well, this is a major part of it that people need to understand. It's the Copernican principle. It's the idea.
You don't know what the Copernican principle is, Witsit. Stop talking nonsense. I really, really have to increase the speed at least to 1.15 because, you know, listening to the Witsit on normal speed is bad. Mr. E-Man and Signastep both gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, guys. That is incredibly generous. $50 more members needed to get my 26th emoji. And Crashes gift 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Guys, you're incredible. You know that, right?
That the Earth
That's
doesn't.
what your movie's about.
Yeah, that's what the principle is referring to. Yeah, the Earth doesn't occupy a special or unique position. This is like a philosophy. It's that the idea that the universe is so huge that it's illogical to think the Earth.
Let me give you a good example of how a scientist can be so biased when he's looking at that so-called evidence. Edwin Hubble, you've heard about him?
Yeah, he is.
You wouldn't know Robertson Jenis because you are the most biased of people that I know. Well, one of. When I debated you, you literally couldn't look at the world outside your stupid geocentric view. Guys, PJ gifted 10 memberships. Thank you. You're actually insane. Roland the Bear, £2. Surely you mean 125 times, not 1.25 times. Yeah, I know, right?
Telescope named after him.
Yeah. Famous guy, famous astronomer, one of the most famous. We cover him in the movie, and in 1929 he used the Mount Wilson telescope in California, a 100-inch telescope. I mean, it's as big as this table. You could see galaxies for the first time in human history.
Wow!
So he saw them, but he saw something peculiar in these galaxies, and that was
Tim Paul doesn't know he's just got a lying moron in front of him. Tatiana Ferreira and Monkey Cat Patback both gifted another 5 memberships. Words are hard. I actually didn't think that you would do that, guys. That means... It says 25 more members needed. Judy Bassett for €10 says, this is my N+1 super chat. Judy, you have sent a lot of super chats during your time on my channel, and I very, very much appreciate it. And I love you, Monkey Cat Pat. Yeah, I know, Dave. I'm sorry.
all had a redshift of the light beams.
What year was this?
1929. Okay, and he wrote a book in 1937 describing all this called the observational, that's the key word, observational approach to cosmology. Okay.
Oh, we've got Astronomy Live in the chat. Hello, buddy. How are you doing? I noticed that so far they haven't really let you talk very much. I wonder what you thought whilst you were there. And it's just stupid people talking to each other like they're intelligent. You must have been thinking to yourself, why the fuck am I here? But hello, Astronomy Live. Welcome, and thank you very much for being here. Astronomy Live says, worth nothing to then when Witsit challenged me to debate him, he deliberately omitted the fact it was going to be 3 science deniers and not just him. Oh, so you didn't even know that they were going to be there. Oh my god. Yeah. I saw the DMs between you guys arranging it, you know? Just you and him. But no. Alex Stein, the shit-throwing monkey, and Robertson Jennis, the lying person about being a doctor, also there. And they've not let you talk. The fact that you're an actual doctor, right? Astronomy Live, you've got some patience on you, right? Because if I was there, I don't have a PhD, but I understand how much work goes towards getting a PhD. I've got 2 bachelors. They weren't hard to get. They weren't easy to get. Sorry, they were quite hard. And getting the masters would be even harder. And so getting a PhD is, dedication and hard work, right? You've actually got one, Astronomy Live. Yet you had to sit there across the table from him, who has lied about having a PhD. That must have made you mad, right? Were you aware of who Robertson Jennis was? For me, I would have found that extremely, irritating. Being an actual doctor, sitting across from someone who lies about being a doctor. Mr. E-Man, $5 Australian. I want you to spread science as far and wide as possible. Me too, mate. Me too. Thank you. Dihydrogen monoxide, £5. Just thought I'd use this super chat as a fair warning that anyone making malicious jokes about Globber Mom will be timed out for 24 hours. Fuck cancer. No, they won't be timed out for 24 hours. They'll be removed from the channel completely. Thank you. Sigma Step for $2 says, guys, let's get the 25 memberships. Well, 20 now. Astronomy Live, do you want to come on and have a talk about your time there? And Sigma Step gifted another 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Customize default perks, emojis. Well, it says 21 more members needed. I don't know why it says 21 because you just gave me 5. PJ gifts 5. CJ Lemericks gifts 1. Thank you very much, guys. It looks like we'll probably get a Globber Mom emoji today. Alright, one sec. Right, cool. I'm going to get Astronomy Live on for a chat about this. I can actually finish going over the debate tomorrow, if I need to. But yeah, let's get Astronomy Live on and have a chat. I will quickly send you a link. I'll send it to you on X, okay? Mr. E-Man gifted 10 memberships. We literally, Roland de Bear gifted 1. We literally need 9 more. And we've got enough to get a, 7 more. Got enough to get a Globber Mom emoji. Janos Takios gifted 5. You guys are amazing. Let me check what it says. There we go. I've got the new emoji that I can add. Right. I will add the Globber Mom emoji after this stream today. So guys, thank you very much for that. Unless someone wants to make it and send it to me. If Zoomi's there, Zoomy, can you do a Globber Mom emoji? Astronomy Live's just come in. Just need another 97 more members to get another emoji. But guys, thank you very much. PJ gifts another 5 memberships. Dihydrogen monoxide gifts another one. Thank you. Janos Tacos gifted 5. Roland 1. We've got JSS Tiger for $10 says, so Geocentrists lie about being a doctor. Robotham lied about being a doctor. Kent Hovind lied about being a doctor. See the trend? Yes, we do. Hello, Astronomy Live.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. How are you, bud?
Good, good. I just actually got back home literally minutes ago.
Oh, what, from doing the being away doing this thing?
Yeah, exactly.
So you must be quite annoyed, actually.
Annoyed at which part?
Well, number one, the fact that you weren't told there was going to be 3 shit-flinging monkeys there instead of just 1.
Well, to clarify on that, Witsit didn't tell me. Like, he presented this as I'm supposed to be coming to debate him, right? I found out from Tim Pool's team, I don't know, day or 2 later, after, things were already in motion, that, oh, yeah, by the way.
Right. And also the fact that, well, I've watched about 1 hour and 10 minutes and so far, and you've barely spoken.
So, I made the deliberate choice not to try to interject and talk over people. Witsit will do that. Like, if I try to start into something, he will suddenly take over and I just said, okay, I'm going to let him illustrate that. And I think he did so beautifully, and I think it did not go over well with the average person watching, because...
Oh, no, the comments have been brutal against him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I figured, I may not, and I knew that going in, I'm probably not going to get very much time to speak, because I knew, okay, this is a unmoderated forum, and there's multiple of them, so I'm going to get very little time to speak. I'm just going to try to make sure that I use what time I have effectively, and I think I did.
Yeah, no, from what I've watched of you speaking so far, probably some of the most eloquent and well put together, on the spot kind of explanations I've ever seen. You have an incredibly good knack for explaining science in a way that is easy to digest and very easy to listen to. And I actually wish that you would do more kind of science explanation videos, because you made the concepts that you were talking about, even in the short amount of time that you got to talk, from what I've seen, very, very easy to take in. And anyone could have listened to and been like, oh, right, I understand what he's on about. So can you do some more science explanation videos, please?
I should. I was thinking about this too. Like, I was trying to explain... I was trying to explain the idea of aether drag and Aries failure, and I was trying to use my hands to gesture and do it. And I was thinking, this would work a lot better if I just, I guess, made an animatic for it, or some sort of animation in a video to illustrate what I'm talking about, because it was very clear to me. Witsit didn't understand at all.
Oh, no.
Like, he didn't understand the implicit assumption in what he was stating. Like, his statement, it naturally implied ether drag, and he didn't even understand that. Or why?
No, not at all. He never understands the concepts that he's talking about. He just tries to look for a bit of what he's talking about that possibly backs up his claim, and locks onto that, even ignoring the context that it's in. And it always falls back on him.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So, one thing I was just saying there was about the fact that you were sitting across the table from Robertson Jenis, who I've debated, and he literally cried and ran away from me. And how do you feel being someone that has actually spent time getting a PhD, being across from someone who lied about having a PhD?
Oh God! So this is something I had to turn over in my head, and again, I had to make the deliberate decision to bite my tongue and not go there, because whether I was right or wrong going there, it would have come. I felt like it would have come across to the average person who doesn't know either of us from Adam that I would have come across as either arrogant or just like petty about it, right? Who cares what he says his degree is? Fine. So I just let that sit, knowing what I know about it, and knowing what he made I believe at some point he made the statement about, oh, I declared physics as a major at some point, or he tried to use that as, credibility. Like, okay, I'm just going to let that slide. Fine. You say what you got to say there, buddy. That's fine. What irritated me was, and I learned this after the fact, was that apparently, and I don't know if this is still the case, but apparently I was told shortly after the discussion that they had listed him as Dr. Robertson Jenis in the video description, and they didn't put my degree. They didn't put my title there. They put his, but not mine. I'm like, is that still the case?
Oh, let me see.
I don't know if that's still the case, but that's what I was told. I didn't even check it myself.
No,
but
they've not got. They've literally on there. They've got guests: Dr. Robertson Jennis, Alex Stein, Austin Witsit, and Scott Ferguson. Oh my god! Oh no, that's out of order.
Yeah, that's what irritated me. Like, okay, if he wants to claim it, fine, but I actually do have it. You know,
Yeah,
I got mine.
Like, how many years?
It's hanging on the wall up there in the next room. If you want me to.
No, we believe you. Obviously, you clearly have the degree you say. But how many years did it take you to get that PhD?
It was about three-ish, just about 3.5 years.
But obviously, you had to do the masters and the bachelors before that. So what?
No. So I have a bachelor's. I do not have a. I actually skipped my master's. I went straight into a PhD. But I had lab experience before I got the PhD, so that's what qualified me for it.
I mean, but overall, it's probably more than the 3 and a bit years, right? You know,
yeah. Overall, so from the time I got my bachelor's to the time that I finished my PhD, that was a period. I mean, that was quite a while. That was 8 years between working as a research tech and then getting into PhD, and then that was an 8-year process.
Yeah, exactly. So you've spent a good portion of your life getting that qualification, and he literally bought his from a fake college on an island somewhere.
Right, right, yeah.
When I debated him on One Day Debate, he presented himself as Dr. Robertson Jennis, and I sent the evidence to James that no, he's actually not a doctor, and James removed the title doctor from the debate. He's like, well, no, I'm working on my PhD. I don't want someone that's lying about a PhD having their name doctor on the channel. I wonder if Tim Pool gets told by enough people if he'll have the integrity to get that removed.
I don't know if he would I don't think he would remove it in the interest of wanting to, farm more content from him in the future, maybe. But it would be nice if they could at least include mine. Like,
I guess I
should.
Should. You should be on there as Dr. Scott. Not just.
Again, like, I don't want to come across as like.
No, you've got the right to be petty about this, dude. You actually do have the right to be petty about it because it's like they've slighted you. So.
And other people who know me know this. I don't throw my title around. I just don't. No. I don't leave it. The only time I lead with it, and I do this consistently, is if I get a call from an unknown number, I will answer with my title because 99% of the time that scares the scammers off. The moment they hear they've called doctor, they probably think they called the doctor's office half the time, and it works. It works so good. They run right off. But other than that, I don't throw it around.
But, I mean, that's the thing. The fact that you don't throw it around, okay? But every single time I've seen St. Jonas everywhere, he introduces himself as Dr. St. Jonas and talks about the fact that he's written these books and he's got his doctorate. He mentions it all of the time. But people with that qualifications don't,
Yeah, I mean, some people will. But some people who legitimately have it will. But, like, I don't. And it is... It's interesting. I think it says a lot about people's integrity if they says a lot about their integrity if they pursue a diploma in the first place, doesn't it? I mean, they're not doing that because they actually want an education, right? So yeah.
Right. So being there across from Alex Stein in particular, how did that feel? Because he's just a vile human being.
So yeah, I mean. I wish, and this is something I said to my significant other when this was going on, when he made the joke referring to the Hidden Figures movie. Yeah. I was stone-faced, like I was horrified. I was just sitting there stone-faced, and I'm like, afterwards, I'm like, did they show our faces? And I was saddened to hear they didn't show our. I wish they had a panel of all our faces, because I will say. I think I was probably the only one not laughing at that joke. Let's say, yeah.
Yeah, so. There certainly some things that were said even in the first hour, 4 minutes I've watched that are not to be laughed at.
He's very clear. Like he's the same personality on and off camera, but he definitely amps it up. Like he's trying to be edgelord, I guess. I'm not saying that justifies it, but like he knows exactly what he's doing, and he doesn't have. From what I can tell, particularly strong beliefs. And there's things I shared with everyone around, like Tim Pool's team, not just, Tim Pool, but Tim Pool's team showing some of my astrophotography and stuff. And Alex was there too, and he was cool with it. Like he doesn't have any problem believing that ISS is up there, I don't think. But he'll present as, this character, and I'm not saying it makes it right. I was horrified by the behavior there, but there's a fundamental difference between him and Witsit. Witsit, from what I could tell, sincerely believes the things he says. He honestly kind of scares me a bit. Like, he's very committed to his beliefs, whereas Alex, like, he'll tell you off and be an absolute joke, on camera. But when the cameras come off, it's, hey man, how you doing? It's not quite the same, I guess. Witsit's the kind of guy that I don't know. There were times I was not quite sure if he was trying. I'm not going to make any public statements about it, but let's just say I'm convinced he is sincere. I'm convinced he believes what he says, but
really, I still don't. I'm still not sure with Witsit. Mainly
let me put it this way:
I see him trying to ditch flat Earth at the moment.
Oh no! I think he's definitely shifting gears. He's trying to move into geocentrism, no doubt that. And when I say he believes what he says, it's not that he doesn't necessarily understand that he's lying about certain things or that flat Earth is false, whatever. And to him, it's important that he appear always right, and he will never admit to being wrong about anything. But underneath all that, there is a fundamentalism there. I believe that he has this sort of religiosity belief, and he sees himself as someone people should follow, and that's definitely scary. Yeah.
He'd like to be a cult leader.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, from what I understand from speaking to people that knew him in childhood, he was raised in like a religious fundamentalist family, and his dad was a pretty big extremist, and his sister is a mirror image of him, very much apparently. So it's just who he is, But one thing I've enjoyed watching so far though is how stupid Alex Stein has come across. Because when you guys started talking about gravity, he just instantly went to, it's buoyancy and density. How does the balloon go up? And even Witsit looked at him to the side, because Witsit ditched the buoyancy density thing ages ago for electrostatics or something. And I thought that was very funny. Like, even Witsit looked at him like, no, you can't say that. That's not the position I hold.
Right. And, I do expect to see more, I could be wrong, but I would expect to see more collaborations between Alex Stein and Witsit in the future. I think Witsit definitely wants to get promotion from Alex Stein, and I don't think Alex Stein is necessarily opposed to doing that.
No, Alex Stein likes Witsit.
Yeah. But, Witsit was like, come on, man, you're not helping me out here.
yeah, there was the definite side-eye coming from Witsit as the camera pulled back on the stream. I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of wish he hadn't said that. And that conversation went nowhere after that, because I think Witsit then jumped in and changed the subject slightly back to dark matter. And But dark matter is always funny, because none of them understand what dark matter is in relation to science, and that it's basically just a placeholder at the moment. And they seem to have the opinion that dark matter is, this definite thing that we're saying is 100% there. But the fact is, we don't really know what it is. We just see the effects and are trying to come up with explanations based on that. And they never understand that.
And I didn't want to say, so I had a few lines that I thought about putting into either my intro or outro. But I didn't want to say anything that would make me appear to be judging people who believe differently than me. I was trying to be very cautious with how I came across during the debate. But one of the things I was tempted to say was that, what Witsit is dependent on is people being uncomfortable with not knowing everything about the way the universe works. Like, this is real science. We don't necessarily know everything about the way the universe works. And I'm fine with that. I'm a scientist. Like, this is what science does. We need to unveil more of how the universe works.
That's exciting, if anything, right? Knowing
that's
that there's more
exciting.
to know.
But Witsit is dependent on people not feeling comfortable with that and wanting something that's simpler, that they can get their arms around and fully understand. Something like a snow globe, right? Yeah. So he's dependent on that. He wants you to not be comfortable with not knowing everything, and then point to that and say, well, see, they don't know everything. I do. Follow me instead. That's what it really boils down to, doesn't it? But I didn't want to say that because it came across the way I was writing it. It came across as too pejorative or something, and I'm just like, but I think it's very true. And it's funny to me when you haven't gotten to the later part. I guess towards the very end, I start asking about neutrons and his electrostatics and stuff. But he starts talking about quarks, and then it says and admits he doesn't believe in quarks. And I should have said it. I should have said it in the moment. But what I thought of immediately after was, wait, so your excuse for believing that your electrostatics affects neutron is quarks, but then you tell me you don't believe in quarks. So how can that be the reason that your electrostatic replacement for gravity works on neutrons? You said you don't believe in it, but that's what's making it work. But you don't believe in it.
What Witsit does is he'll get bogged down in trying to be right about, let's say, the globe explanation, right?
Yeah.
And he spends so much time trying to be right about that. It seems like he forgets the fact that he's supposed to be arguing for the fact that he's a flat earther.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I pointed out in the video that I'm editing about him at the moment that he actually doesn't really argue for the Earth being flat anymore. He just seems to argue for being right about something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And whereas before he said before that if he saw the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, he'd have to reevaluate everything.
Yeah.
He'll never admit to having reevaluated everything, but I think he actually already is doing it. He's just not saying that he's doing it. And what he's reevaluating is, well, I can't really defend flat Earth anymore. I'm going to defend geocentrism.
Yeah.
Before the debate, he was brown-nosing very strongly Mr. Robert Sungenis, saying, "Oh man, you've put me onto so many paths, so many right paths, and I'm following your work. Thank you." Just it was obvious to me that there were two things going on there. One was he wants to get in that camp. He wants that audience.
Yeah.
Number two, he was hoping to sort of butter him up so that he doesn't so that Sungenis doesn't come after him. He wants Sungenis and him teaming up against me. He doesn't want fire from Sungenis, which didn't work out in the end for him as I'd hoped it wouldn't. But
I kind of don't understand why Sungenis was there anyway, because he's not a flat earther, and the title that Tim Paul's put on is Flat Earth Conspiracy Debate. So why would Sungenis even be there? I was really shocked to see him there, because he's not relevant in the debate that you were supposed to be going for. Maybe Alex Stein makes sense, right? Because he is just a Witsit brown noser, but Sungenis has no place being in a flat Earth debate.
I don't know who suggested. I would not be surprised. I don't know this. I don't have any information to support this, but I wouldn't be surprised if Witsit was the one who invited him. I mean, Witsit reached out to me, out of the blue and invited me. I wouldn't be surprised if Witsit had also invited Sungenis, because again, I think he wants that audience. He wants to pair up with Sungenis, especially after Antarctica.
Yeah, everyone just needs to go and watch my stream called "How to Ruin a Geocentricist Day." I literally just asked him to explain gravity and let him hang himself for ages. It was hilarious.
Did you get to the part yet where he talks about Planck particles?
Oh, he has mentioned Planck particles. Yeah, well, he's really no clue what he's talking about there. He doesn't like the idea of nothing being a thing.
Right. Yeah, no, he doesn't. And again, I tried to not go after Sungenis because I wanted Sungenis to go after Witsit, because I figured Sungenis has no lost love for necessarily flat Earth contaminating his beautiful geocentrism belief, right? So, it was interesting. Again, there were things that I knew about Sungenis and some of his arguments from reading websites that debunk him that I felt like, well, maybe I could go in harder on Sungenis on, but enemy of my enemy is my friend in this case, maybe, because it's a 3-on-1 and it's not even moderated. It's just free roaming debate, and that's just not great. As a format, it's not great. For trying to hash anything out.
I noticed that Tim kind of got more involved, and at the moment seems to have talked more than you have, whereas he's just supposed to be the host here.
Well, I mean, but it is his show, right? I expected that, it's his show. People are tuning in to see Tim talk, so I get it. I expected that, and I don't have any problem with that. But it was understood from the beginning, this is not a moderated debate. And even his team, when they reached out to me and informed me that, oh, by the way, Alex Stein's definitely going to be there, and Robert Sungenis might be there as well, that this isn't because I'm like, what's the subject of debate? They're like, well, it's not really a debate. It's more of a conversation. So okay, at that point, I'm clued in that okay, this is going to be unmoderated. This is going to be a dumpster fire. It's just going to be a free for all, and I probably should be on my best behavior because this is going to be before an audience that's probably never seen some of this stuff before, probably never heard of Witsit or me, and doesn't know either of us. So better to make myself look like the sensible one than the unhinged lunatic.
Which you have, but if I go in the only things against you in the comments are things like, oh, this guy's a nerd.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, and I don't know why they seem to think that that's a like an insult. I was looking for it. I feel bad for the round Earth guy because he sat back and was super respectful of the flat earthers to go on and on and on and on and on. But as soon as he would say anything, the dude across from him would cut him off repeatedly and got so rude and condescending, like super antagonistic for no reason. Yeah.
And that's perfect. That is exactly what I was hoping to see in the comments, because now, if Witsit ever challenges me again, I'm just going to point to that comment and say, okay, if we're going to do anything ever again, it's going to be in a moderated forum of my choosing, where it's not a free-for-all, and you are forced to a limit of time, and I'm forced to a limit of time.
Yeah. The Astronomy Live guy was a good pick for this. I do think you shouldn't have had him outnumbered, though. Yeah, they're just all like saying that you're awesome and that Witsit is a gish galloper.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one in here seems to like Witsit. Someone was laughing at you because you said you measured the distance to the sun, but I haven't got to that bit. I guess you do that. But measuring the distance to the sun isn't even hard. I don't know why people get so confused about that.
Yeah. I did say that in my outro. Like, I've done all these things, and the point I was making with that is that anyone can do this. The astronomy is the most open science. Anyone can look up and start taking measurements themselves. You don't even need a big telescope to do it. So, that's the beautiful thing, is you don't have to trust the government. You don't have to trust me. If you don't believe me, by all means, go repeat what I've done. I've laid out my methods. Anyone can repeat it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Flat earthers will cry constantly, oh, well, science is supposed to be repeatable, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as we get someone like you who does something that's repeatable, they won't actually touch it. Or they complain that it's prohibitively expensive and say that means that not everyone can repeat it. When science doesn't say that you have to be able to do it yourself personally. I mean, not everyone's got a hadron collider to be able to, smash particles together. Doesn't mean the science they're doing is irrelevant.
And I get no kickbacks right now from this, but and not to sound too much like an advertiser, but you can rent an eye telescope for, I mean, it's not super cheap, but maybe $50 an hour will get you, the data you need to measure the parallax of Mars and measure the distance of the sun. Like, you can do these things. You don't have to even own the telescope. You can just rent time on it for a relatively affordable amount and get the data you need. Like, if you want to do this, you can. There's really very little stopping you.
Yeah. So far, I mean, like I said, I'm only an hour into it. It took me about 2.5 hours to get through that yesterday because it's just Witsit and Syngenis waffling. So I am looking forward to doing the next hour. How much in the second part do you do any more talking than the first? Because
so in the middle, I kind of didn't interject so much, and towards the end, if I remember how it went, it was Syngenis against Witsit a bit. There was a bit that I had to bite my tongue so hard, but again, I was trying not to turn Syngenis against me. I was happy to let them two duke it out and say ridiculous things to each other. But Witsit was trying to talk about the atmosphere being ridiculous, of having an atmosphere next to a vacuum, that you can't have that. And Syngenis is like talking about how space isn't a perfect vacuum. And then they got talking about the level to which it's not. And they were talking about, Tor, and is it 10 to the minus 7? Is it 10 to the minus 16? Whatever. And Syngenis said something like, well, if it was 10 to the minus 16, we'd be screwed, but it's only 10 to the minus 7, so we're fine. Like, what? I'm like, that's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. I was so tempted to probe. Does he think that's a negative number? Is this another one of those negative exponent misunderstandings?
It does, from what you've just explained to me, it does sound like he thinks that it's a negative. Not, oh my lord. Wait, no, it's bringing back a memory of my debate with him. I talked about 10 to the negative 17 Tor, and he does think it's a negative number. Wait, 4 years later, after talking to me, and he still think, oh my god.
Oh my god, I should have. I was so tempted to pursue that.
You should have.
I was like,
it would have been hilarious.
But again, it was like, don't. What's the saying? Like, don't interrupt when your enemies are fighting. Let them fight. But I'm like, I'm just over there again. They're not showing my perspective because I'm not the one talking. But I'm just over there like shaking my head, like, oh my god, really?
Oh my god! Oh, I can't wait for that. Right, I want to get back to covering it though, and I know you've just got in,
Sure.
so you've probably got a lot of stuff to do.
Yes.
I really appreciate you popping on to have a chat with me about it. Any final thoughts on how it went for you before I get back to it?
Yeah, the only other thing that I left on the table that actually was a mistake on my part because I meant to bring it up was my comet discovery because it's important because it really does disprove flat Earth in so many ways and even really I think even Robert would have trouble explaining it. I don't know. Robert seems more open to the idea that satellites exist, so maybe he'd be fine with it. But Witsit definitely wouldn't be, and that's because the comet that I discovered, I did so using a NASA spacecraft, the Stereo spacecraft, while both it and the comet were on the opposite side of the sun from Earth. So I discovered it before it was ever seen from Earth and before it was visible from Earth. Then now, years later, it was confirmed from the ground, and now it has a permanent designation, 414P, because it's been seen on more than one orbit. The initial observations by Stereo, and now from the ground on Earth. So it's been confirmed from Earth. So how did NASA know to put it there in the pictures for me to discover just randomly if they're faking it? They wouldn't have known to put it there.
No.
And it certainly wouldn't have been confirmed from the ground.
Well,
so
you're obviously part of
explain that.
the cabal there, aren't you? You're obviously
Yeah.
involved in it all, and it was all planned.
Exactly. So I do wish I had brought that up, and I apologize to the audience for not slamming him with that. But other than that, I'm happy with what I used my time for. I will say there was one part that maybe I didn't understand the question. I thought they were trying to get me to explain subatomically why mass creates gravity or something, and I just sort of waffled about. I'm like, look, I'm not a particle physicist. It's not my wheelhouse. I think it's got something to do with the Higgs boson, but that's not my wheelhouse.
Yeah,
then they're like,
the fact is we don't really know yet. That's kind of the point,
Yeah, and then they were like, well, it's warping of space. I'm like, oh, I didn't think that's what you were trying to ask me, but whatever. So, but other than that, I was very happy with my performance on it, and at the end, I corner Witsit again about the flat Earth because, of course, he brings up specular reflections off water. I'm like, oh, and I wish I could have shown pictures because again, the debate format didn't even allow me to show slides in real time. They're like, well, we'll give them to the audience. Like what in the description? Nobody's going to click on that. But I knew he was going to bring up specular reflection, so I had at the ready. Although again, I couldn't show it. A picture of a Falcon 9 landing over the Atlantic Ocean, and you can see beautiful specular reflection off the Atlantic Ocean from the horizon back towards the beach. I was on that beach with my telescope, not far from where this person was taking their video. So they just had a wide-angle lens. I had my telescope. And as it came down, I saw the bottom two-thirds of the rocket set over the horizon. It was landing on the drone ship only 17.8 miles offshore, so it was close enough that I could see the top third of the rocket above the horizon at landing. So what is blocking not only what is blocking two-thirds of the rocket, Earth, but also if curved water can't produce that specular reflection, then how the hell is it blocking the rocket? You can't have, but he's just like, well, curved water can't produce. Then explain it. You have a contradiction here.
Yeah.
He had no explanation for it. So anyway, yeah.
Except it always makes it funny when they talk about specular reflections because they show a picture of water, from the beach and the specular reflection coming over the curved waves.
Yes.
Still creating a straight line, but on clearly not flat water. And I'm like, good job, guys. Well, Scott, thank you very much for coming on, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Good job on dealing with the free clowns there. I'm looking forward to watching the second half of it and seeing you destroy them more. All
right.
Thank you very much, buddy.
Thank you very much.
This is Astronomy Live. Please go and subscribe to his channel.
Yes, please do. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, speak to you later. Bye. Well, that was unexpected and fun. Always enjoy Scott coming on. He's so smart, so intelligent, and so eloquent in the things that he says. Why aren't you changing? Oh, come on. We have to do that way. Fine, be like that. But yeah, we did hit our target for Globber Mom emoji. I did not expect you guys to all of a sudden just instantly throw 75 memberships at me. In fact, we're now up to 90 new members during this stream. So yeah, if you are a member, which quite a lot of you are, head to the emoji panel and smash that Globber Mom emoji for me. Let's get the chat full, absolutely full, of just Globber Mum emojis. Catch up on the super chats, then carry on with the dumbasses. And Scott. CJ Lamerix for $2 said, would have gifted more, but all I can afford. You never need to explain that you didn't give as much as you wanted to. The fact that you've given any is more support than I could ever asked for. Just you being here helps support me. And you know what? If you don't have money, watch an advert. That helps me as well. But, you know, thank you very much, CJ. Earth is Life for $2 says, the Principal movie was an absolute scam. Yes, it was. Maybe I should review it at some point. Dihydrogen Monoxide gifted a membership. PJ gifted 5 memberships. Aeon Dust, $5 Australian. As someone who has watched Tim Pool before, if you want a fair discussion about science, do not go on his show. Tim ain't got a clue about Jack. I have noticed that. Yes. Dave McKeegan for £2 says, Witsit's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Sigmaset for $2 says, Ariel, we need an updated version of female FTFE. There is one coming in an episode. JSS Tiger $5. Is Dr. St. further left on the Dunning-Kruger chart than Witsit? No, they're both at the peak of Mount Stupid. Monkey Cat Pat Pat $5 says, Astronomy Live, amazing job on you biting your tongue, letting those monkeys make fools of themselves. I would have snapped 10 minutes in, I know, right? Sergio Garcia Lavado for €2 says, they didn't let Astronomy Live talk. Very rude. So far, that's what I've noticed. Ariel CH for €2 says, rip Globber Mum. Yeah, rest in peace, Globber Mum. Look at the chat. All of the love for you. And then Ariel also became a member. Thank you. JSS Tiger $10. If they were the Three Stooges, which stooge is Witsit? Don't be mean to the Three Stooges. They're all far more intelligent than Witsit. Right. Here we go.
What do we see out there? How do we interpret it? Okay. So he sees the redshift of all these galaxies, no blue shifts. How do we, I mean, this looks like the Earth is in the center of the universe. He says it in the book.
In every direction, you see a red shift.
Right.
So can you explain redshift?
Yeah. When light...
Right. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. When light has a wave, right? And if you're moving away from that wave, then it will look stretched because it kind of has to catch up with you. But then if you're moving towards that wave, it will look squished because it's getting to you and faster. You know, and that is what redshift and you know, blue shift are. And yeah, when you look at the universe around us, right, the redshift indicates that we're kind of in the center. But here's the thing: you go anywhere else in the universe and look around you, and it indicates that you're the center. Every satellite we have in orbit looks at the universe and indicates that satellite is the center of the orbit. Where Voyager is, at the edge of the solar system, would show that they are the center of the universe. Because that's literally the limit of the light that could have reached us when the universe started. Anything further than that, the universe is expanding faster than the speed of light, and the light from it won't reach us. So we look like wherever we are in the center. Excuse me. Dihydrogen monoxide, £2. Send Krampus to Witsit's house. He's been naughty. Sweat Harder says that what I've just said was a lie. Except they won't explain how it's a lie, and they won't email me for debate.
Light travels, it can be disturbed, taken energy from it. And the light you see is going to shift more to the red end of the spectrum than it would to the blue end of the spectrum. Now, you know what light is because you see a rainbow. You see 7 colors. So it'll be like seeing a rainbow with more red than usual.
And so what does that imply?
That implies if you get redshift from every angle you're looking at, okay, and you get no blue shifts, that means we, the observer, have to be in the center of it all.
So I gotta...
Again, ignoring the way that the universe actually works. Oh no, Sweat Hard Beaver, it's cool. Sweat Harder is okay to be timed out because they're on the whack-a-mole treatment. If they don't email me for debate, then they're not allowed to take part in the conversation. Roland De Bear for £2 says, TIL, I'm the center of the universe. So am I. So are you.
A riddle for you guys. You are in a cabin with, how does this go? I'm going to ruin it. With 4 windows, and I'm ruining it. Let me look it up.
Let me finish the story first.
Finish the story.
Okay. So he says, but we can't have this. This is horrible. This is horrific. We would only accept this as a last resort to explain the phenomena that the Earth is in the center. So what do? Well, here's what we do. We get rid of the center. We get rid of the center, okay? That means we get rid of Euclidean geometry, and we make a balloon of the universe. A balloon has no center.
No, that's wrong. We never got rid of Euclidean geometry. That can exist as well as, non-Euclidean geometry.
Just has a plastic surface, okay? We put the galaxies on the surface of this balloon, and then we blow the balloon up. So it gets wider and wider and wider. What's going to happen? Each galaxy is going to see the other galaxy move away from it, and what's it going to see? Redshift.
So you're in a house with 4 walls facing south. You step outside and see a bear. What color is the bear?
What?
You are in a house with 4 walls facing south.
Okay.
You step outside and see a bear. What color is the bear?
4 walls facing south.
You step outside and see a bear. What color is the bear?
I don't know.
Anybody?
I believe it's 4 walls facing. Oh, yeah. Okay.
What color is the bear?
It's not white?
Well, okay, it is white because you're at the North Pole.
Exactly.
The walls are facing south.
All right.
So that's...
Astronomy Live got it. Roberts and Jennings had no fucking idea. Astronomy Live is the smart one in the room. Denzo for 5 CHFs. Hey, Craig, tell me, how are you dealing with this stupidity every day? How, Craig? How? Thank you so much for fighting. You are the best. This helps. Right, guys, I need to take a Riley, and I don't want to stream on stream like Riley did. So I'll be back in just 2 minutes.
What is a full moon and what is a new moon on your model?
Probably like a magnetic cycle, and just like the center of a barrel cell image of a magnet.
I think it's probably like a magnetic cycle, just like the center of a Flerfs cell spiral. Image of a magnet, it's just black in the middle. It's actually pure inertia, not just a little. In the Flerfs cell image of a magnet, it actually goes into its inertial state, then charges back up. It becomes like etherically displaced. Yeah, you start to see it charge up once more, and it goes back like it did before. Once it becomes like etherically spaced, you see it charge up and take its place. Oh, shucks, ain't that so? That's how moon phases work, fam. Pass the dresser. In the magnet's heart, centrifugal divergence flies, centripetal convergence pulls. But all science, etheric whispers sing, light and shadow blend, magnetic cycles spin, where physics seems to end. In the Flerfs cell image of a magnet, it actually goes into its inertial state, then charges back up. It becomes like etherically displaced. Yeehaw! Grab your partner, swing around, magnetic cycles up and down. Either song in the air, hillbilly science everywhere, cause it's like etherically displaced. Yeehaw! Yo, belly on up to the Witsit word salad buffet. Who has light vinaigrette? The Jugger Ranch.
Then charges back up, and once it becomes like etherically displaced again, you start to see it charge up throughout a cycle, and it goes back.
Witsit's nay smart. Now, I do want to know why Tim thought that question applied here. Ooh, Gleam's in the chat. Ooh, gross. Don't want to see Gleam.
That's what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
How could it be that your house is facing south in every direction?
Yeah.
You're clearly on the North Pole.
Yeah.
The only direction you can go from there would be south.
Perfect. I'm going to use that.
And so the
Yeah, but Roberts and Jennings, you weren't smart enough to figure it out. Yeah, sweat harder. Here's the deal, bud. If you email me, fighttheflatearth@gmail.com, and say, hey, I'll debate you. I'm ready for debate. Let's go. Or to arrange a time. Then I will tell my chat to not time you out. Until then, you are the whack-a-mole. You pop your head up, we bop it back. You do not get to interact if you are too afraid to actually come and talk to me. RLCH2 says, I feel attacked. I love bluegrass. Lol. Yeah, I don't mind the music, but that's a cool tune.
Riddle is, what does a bear have to do with my house facing south? But if you actually break it down, you're like, how could your walls only face south? You're at the North Pole. The only bear that you're going to find up there, I don't even know if polar bears are at the North Pole, but whatever.
Okay.
That's
so
the joke.
Yes, polar bears are at the North Pole. Arctic literally means place with bears. And Antarctic literally means place where there is no bears. Yeah, there's polar bears at the North Pole. Oh no, it's Andy. See you, buddy. Thanks for being here. I love you.
The finishing touch on this, the icing on the cake. So the guy, he says, we expand the balloon. You see redshift. We don't have any more Earth in the center. Problem solved. Okay. So Father LeMaitre.
What did he say?
We don't have any more Earth on the cake. So the guy, he says,
oh, but whatever.
Okay.
That's
so
the
just
joke.
put the finishing touch on this, the icing on the cake. So the guy, he says, we expand the balloon. You see redshift. We don't have any more Earth in the center. Problem solved. Okay, so...
Why, if you expand the universe, are we no longer in the center, though? I mean, I'm not saying we are the center, but where does that logical deduction come from of it expanding and we're no longer in the center? Because something can expand around you and you stay in the center. Yonderston and Signastep both became members. They must have rejoined or something. Thank you very much. That's 92 new members today. If you guys want me to get another emoji... and I'll let you guys choose what that emoji is, then 80 more members would be needed for that. But yeah, let's all smash the most recent emoji, our Globber Mom emoji. Yes, Dave, you absolutely do live in Antarctica. Because that's what it means, place with no bears. So we all live in Antarctica.
Father LeMaitre comes along, Belgian priest, Catholic, and says, okay, let's do this. Let's reverse the expansion and make it go down to what happened at the beginning. And you can't define what happened at the beginning. That's why they call it singularity. But they're figuring it took 13.78 billion years for it to start here, and then expand to the point...
Yeah, based on measurements, yes, absolutely. But he really doesn't have a clue about what he's talking about. He's not a smart person, guys. Remember this. He is not a doctor.
Where we see redshift everywhere, you see. And that's how you get out of an Earth-centered universe, is by rearranging the universe into a Riemannian two-dimensional balloon instead of a Euclidean geometry with a...
Balloons aren't 2D.
I think the argument they make is that the universe is expanding, and we're not in the center of it, but is expanding. It's still expanding around us. Thus, you will see a redshift regardless.
Yeah.
So, if you know, the way you're describing it is if you're on this balloon, even if we were on the leftmost surface of it, as it's expanding, we're going to see things even right next to us redshifting as they're moving away from us.
Yeah, but we're going to see blue shifts too. That's the issue.
How would you see a blue shift?
Because you're closer to the light now, and it's not going to have the same kind of stretching that it had when you were in the center.
But it's still moving away from you. So no matter where you...
That doesn't make any sense. You don't see blue because it's not stretching. You would see blue because it's squishing. Robertson Jenis doesn't have a clue about what he is talking about. Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, for the next emoji, it's for when I got naked live and it just says, I'm naked, guys. Well, I'm sure somebody could take a screenshot of me like that and we can put it over there. If you want that as an emoji, we need 80 more members. What do you mean, Signastep? No.
You are an expanding surface, and everything's moving away from you.
Very slowly. So you're not going to get an intense redshift. It's going to shift to the blue end of the spectrum now.
Or I don't think it wouldn't shift to blue. It would just be less red.
Sure.
It would be
shift to blue. It has nowhere else to go.
But if it's moving away from you, isn't it still going to be red?
It's moving slowly away from you because you're near the edge.
But that doesn't mean it shifts to the blue. Sweat harder. Why you even bother typing? just email me. Right, I'll tell you what, I'll help you out. I'll type my email in chat for you, right? There you go. Fight the flat earth. That's not how you spell Gmail, Craig. There we go. Sweat harder. There's my email. Don't talk in chat. Send me an email, and I will send you a Zoom link to come and talk to me live. If you're too scared, then you aren't allowed to talk in the chat. That's the rules. Dave, we've already got a Durf Tater emoji.
So why would that? So even if it's moving away from you, it could have a blue shift.
No, it'll shift more to the blue end of the spectrum. It's not going to have the same amount of redshift. You
I see what
we're
you're
talking
saying.
about degrees here.
Yes.
So you could say less red than towards the blue.
Actually, all been disproven too. You can look up like all the redshift anomalies. There are things that are way closer to things that are super far away. They have way more redshift though. Right.
But so
He's just saying things, guys. Just remember, Witsit doesn't know anything about what he's saying. He's just making claims about things he doesn't understand. Never will he present evidence to back up anything he ever says. Lisa, you did not need to do that. Thank you very much. Lisa sent a $75 super chat. That's incredibly generous. And it says, rest in peace, Globber Mom. You will be severely missed. Hashtag fuck cancer. To say thank you to Lisa, guys, I want the chat full, absolutely full of Globber Mom emojis, please. Let's see just Globber Mom in the chat. Thank you, Lisa. That's incredibly generous. And yes, in memory of Globber Mom. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful sight.
So the universe is expanding.
No.
That's the philosophical assumption required to get rid of the idea of the Earth.
It's not philosophical. It's based on evidence. Witsit genuinely doesn't know what the word philosophical means.
Could be in the center. Hubble actually said it was intolerable and horrific. It shows that it implies the Earth's in the center, akin to what everyone thought throughout mankind. But we're going to avoid that at all costs.
Well, so if the universe isn't expanding, what explains the redshift?
There are many theories, actually.
There's a very simple one. When you have a galaxy out there and the light beam leaves the galaxy, the gravity of the galaxy is going to pull on that light beam, and it's going to turn it into a redshift.
It's going to slow it down.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah.
No, that's not how that works, Robert. The light is moving towards us, and it's not losing energy because of the gravity. Plus, ones that are, we can see that things are moving faster away, even though they're closer, and they've got a higher degree of redshift. So
there's something called the tired light theory, which is the idea that it attenuates proportionate to distance. So similar to how like a laser can't go as far through water as air, it attenuates, it gets absorbed into the medium. So that would do it. There's also
like light is passing through things that interfere.
Yeah, it could be it.
But there's nothing in space. That's kind of the point, because the aether's not a thing.
That was the first theory.
Yeah, and I actually think that it's electromagnetic retardation. It's actually been shown that.
But you can't say that.
You don't believe that galaxies are millions of light years away to begin with.
That doesn't matter at all.
It does.
No, it literally doesn't matter.
Well, it does. It does if you don't believe that, because then it couldn't be electromagnetic retardation.
Not at all.
It does.
But why?
Because you're talking about a light attenuating over great distance. Like, you don't even believe in those distances. Like, how do you even
I don't believe in the medium either.
You don't believe in ether?
No. Well, okay. So now we're introducing a medium, and maybe even another medium. And let's also introduce some plasma, because it's been proven.
Well, Austin just avoided the question. You don't believe in the medium? You don't believe in the ether? And he just ignored it. Sigma Set for $2 says, at least Austin is dressing like an adult. Well, actually, Austin looks kind of like, when you were a kid and you'd break into your dad's wardrobe. And go about in his suit. Because that does not look like that suit belongs to him. That looks like he got to the studio and they were like, you wearing that? Nah, dude, here's a shirt and suit top. Like, that's not Witsit's clothes. There's no way. That suit is not cut for him. Look at the arms. Look where it folds here, where it shouldn't, right? Look how wide the shoulders are, yet it's still ruffled up on his neck. Right? That is not a top designed for him.
Proven in a lab, unlike your belief of redshift, that photons, quote unquote, which I won't get into that, they redshift through plasma.
So you
they
don't,
redshift through
you don't
plasma
think you can
proportionate
replicate
to the medium.
redshift? You don't think that you can get Doppler shift on a spacecraft traveling out from the Earth?
Yeah, of course. With frequency, and then you get into like sound and wave, sound and light, and what's the difference between?
Well,
the
you
two?
said you couldn't recreate it. Like we can test.
No,
it.
that's not what he asked, Witsit. He just asked you, would you get redshift on a spacecraft moving away from Earth? He didn't ask anything about what sound and light is.
No. What I said was your theory has been proven wrong, and the reason it's been proven wrong is because the observations don't actually match the theory. For example, quasar, supernova, and I could go on. When these are observed significantly close.
Well, yeah, please do go on, Witsit, because all you did was say things and not explain how they disprove the expansion of the universe. The expansion of the universe has not been disproven. In fact, it's shown to be more valid as a theory every single day with every discovery that we make. Did the wrong one. I am going to put Sweat Harder in a 5-minute timeout. Hey, Dark Meta, how you doing?
Closer to Earth in your paradigm, there's way more redshift and things that are further away. Also, the redshift, isn't.
Wait. So you're saying that the quasars are further away than the galaxies?
I'm saying that their model doesn't actually add up. That it's just based on.
Redshift isn't necessarily based on specifically how far away something is, but how fast it's moving away from you. So maybe the quasars are moving at different speeds. It doesn't disprove the theory of the universe expanding. No, Coco Rose.
Yeah, I know, but you said it looks like it's far away, but it isn't. Now that's the theory that goes along with quasars being way far away and galaxies being rather close to us. And Halton Arp, you know.
Yeah, Halton Arp, that's what I was about to plug.
He's the one that said, no, that's not what's occurring.
Exactly.
What's occurring is the galaxies are creating the quasars, and they're right next to the galaxies.
Right.
And he actually showed filament between the two.
I don't think he knows what a quasar is. Yeah, that's what I think. A quasar is just like a massive thing at the center of a galaxy, galactic nuclei. You know, it's it's just a supermassive black hole. Radiant energy of a quasar is enormous. A quasar is an extremely luminous, active galactic nucleus. It is sometimes known as a quasi-stellar object. The emissions from AGN are powered by accretion onto a supermassive black hole, with a mass ranging from millions to tens of billions of solar masses. So, yeah, basically it's the energy coming from a supermassive black hole in the center of a galaxy. So it's not something a galaxy can just create and pop out. Yep, they've no idea what they're talking about, as normal. Monkey Cat, pat. $5. Witsit looks like someone on the street yelling at people about nonsense. Oh, wait, he already does that. Drunk Debunk Show, pee poo poo. 199 says, Witsit is making my 2-year-old cry. Richie Harrod for £2. Mr. Witsit, I was wrong. You're the superior being. No, never. I actually can't believe you guys are giving me 92 new members today, just so we could stick a Globber Mom emoji on there. That is incredible, and shows how much love Globber Mom gave us. But if you want to have a naked Craig emoji, alright, I'll tell you how many that's going to take. For a naked Craig emoji, we need another 79 members.
Yeah.
So the whole theory that the quasars are way far away and we see a greater redshift is false.
Yeah, because they just had to assume that, right? Because it had greater redshift.
Yeah.
But like Halton Arp, this is a perfect example of what happens. People call this science. It's basically a cult, though. Halton Arp was like revered almost, like completely respected astronomer, like world renowned, like had things named after him. And he comes out pointing out that redshift doesn't work. And he ends up writing a second follow-up called Seeing Red, which is a play on how he's like getting angry because he's being blacklisted. He gets blacklisted. He gets the ability, the right to actually use observatory telescopes revoked from him because he comes out and speaks out against redshift. That is not science.
Well, it's because it's against the Big Bang.
Yeah.
No, he did not have the ability to use observatories taken away from him because of his objections. He was literally being a nuisance to people and stuff like that. So, just fact checks what you say, Witsit, would be great. The Trying Scotsman gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. Lisa says, hard pass on the naked emoji, please. No, it has to happen. And we just need... Oops. What did I do with it? This there. We only need another 78 members to get a naked Craig emoji. Monkey Cat Pat Pat $2 says Witsit looks like a divorced clown without a job. Look at that screenshot. Actual looks like a crazy person. A homeless crazy person. Annalise Knapp 6.99 Canadian. Have you heard that he's been calling himself Astrodamus, aka Austin and Astrodamus? Oh my, has he? Really? Could someone send me a clip of that or something, please? Signastep, $5. If there's a naked Craig emoji, I'm calling Discover and telling them my last 50 super chats were fraudulent.
It's a cult. It's a cult, and that's what the Copernican principle is. All the evidence shows the Earth is in the center, and no one knows any of this. It's been omitted from the consciousness of people, and then you get into the physical test. It just definitively proves it.
I want to say something here that is a dimension of this that deals with my major study, which is theology.
No one cares what you've got to say. Your study is irrelevant because you bought a degree from a diploma mill.
And that is this dimension of this that deals with my major study, which is theology.
My major study is magic sky daddies. Well, fuck off then.
And that is this. That if the Earth is in the center of the universe, that means somebody...
MC Toon in the chat over here. Austin's crying.
But he had to put it there. Because it's not going to get there by time and chance.
Is that, would some argue then that you are incentivized to push theories towards the idea of a geocentric universe?
I would never do that.
Well, I would say...
Yeah, William Calculus. Why would anyone buy a fucking theology degree? Yeah, I know. If you're going to, like, fake a degree, buy a good degree, like in physics or some science or something, you know? Drama, even, not fucking theology.
What I'm trying to say is I would go by the evidence. If the evidence supports that theory, we went through Michelson-Morley, we went through Airy, we went through the cosmic microwave background.
But you don't go with what supports evidence. I showed you evidence of you being wrong in our debate. You didn't accept... This is 4 years later and you're still saying the same fucking nonsense. Not a Dr. Singenis. Janos Takos for 512 Huffs says, oh my fucking god, is there a way to give negative memberships? Huge Arse for $5 Australian says, wouldn't Astrodamus literally mean southern dumbass? Well, let's just take it like that. Guys, naked Craig emoji in 78 members.
Ground radiation, we went through Hubble's Big Bang universe, where that came from. That's enough for me to say I don't have a bias because the evidence supports what I just said.
Now, Tim, can you flip it around, though? Now, flip around what you just asked him. Could it be said that people have a bias against the idea of intelligent design, therefore exclude the possibility of geocentrism?
No. The question of intelligent design is almost fucking irrelevant, right? It doesn't change what the universe is. Whether it was made by some sky daddy or not doesn't matter to the science and physics that we are doing. Maybe some super intelligent being, possibly me, created the universe as we know it, started the Big Bang. Maybe I make a time machine and go back in time to start the Big Bang. which means I'd have to go outside of space and time. But anyway, maybe that's what happened. You've got no proof that it hasn't. No one has any proof that I am not the creator of the universe. There is no evidence of that anywhere. Nobody here has any proof that in the future I don't create a machine that can allow me to go back to the beginning and start the Big Bang. Right? But that doesn't matter. It changes nothing. The universe is still as it is. Even if this is a simulation, right? Which, again, we can't disprove. But even if it is a simulation, that simulation is of the Earth being a globe in a massive fucking universe as we know. Roland the Bear says, I have proof, Craig. How do you think I got here from the future? Did my designs get leaked? Crap. Jared Victory Nuggets Henry, who's been a member for 4 months, says, unintelligent design. Flying spaghetti monster. Yeah, he made the universe while being highly intoxicated.
Because that is very clearly what is happening. Stephen Hawking literally says, I can't disprove geocentrism. I reject it on grounds of modesty. Hubble calls it intolerable and horrific. Lawrence Krauss says it's coming back to haunt us. The Copernican principle is coming back to haunt us in his film. There is a bias against intelligent design, similar to how modern academia is overwhelmingly drowning in liberalism.
Yeah.
Well,
Austin, buddy, I think you're kind of forgetting things again. I'll just make my screen big so maybe this will help you. All right, Austin, buddy, old pal. Austin, mate, over here. No. Oh, my eyes are up here, Austin. Thanks, yeah. So, you might have forgotten, but you're supposed to be holding the position that the Earth is flat. So, you haven't done that yet. You've kind of argued for the Earth being like one of these. With a Star Trek Delta on the top for some reason. That's not your job here. I am enjoying how little they're letting Alex Stein speak, though. That's always fun. Huge R's $5 Australian says the universe was created when I pooped it out after a particularly dodgy vindaloo. That's why it's so shitty. So it's your fucking fault. Richard Howard for £2 says Dave Lister jump-started the second Big Bang, Craig. Well, yeah, that was just the second one. That was like... at least 9 Big Bangs ago. Wait, I forgot the incident with the Hadron Collider. That would be 10. Then there was a time I had to wipe everyone's memory and I did it too much and I had to restart the universe. Well, at least 11 Big Bangs ago, Dave Lister did it, okay? The boy Lambert became a new member. Welcome to Scrappers. Meaning that we only need... let me check the numbers. Yeah, we only need 77 more members for a naked Craig emoji.
Well, modern academia in terms of science is drowning in atheism. And it actually implements philosophy.
It's drowning in atheism. Yeah, people got intelligent and realized that Magic Sky Daddy, no need for a universe. However, I also don't think that's true. A lot of the people I know that are involved in science are also religious. Goran Anderson says, did I count when Doctor Who restarted the universe? Which time? Oh, that means 13, 14, 15. Right, so it's been at least 16 times that the universe has been restarted since Lister did it, so... Redcar says, does the clone number correlate to the Ace Rimmer number? What do you mean I'm not a clone? Why would you say I'm a clone? That's a stupid thing to say. I mean, you all have barcodes under your eyelids. It's just a thing, right?
Bias at this point, and they can't have a creator. Well, I would say that even in the mainstream model, you still need a creator, right? You could, but it doesn't matter. The point is, like, you see that
No, you don't need a creator. You need physics.
Atheists I've ever talked to, I said, so if the Earth were in the center, let's say hypothetically, do you agree that?
Sweat harder. I want to debate about the flat Earth. Clearly, if you emailed me, we could discuss it. I'm checking. Let me see. No email. I'd know if there was one, so it would be on there. At the moment, it's just a Pip boy.
That it had to be put there? none of them deny that it drastically increases the chances of intelligent design at the least, right? Because if it's in the center of the whole universe.
And in Scientific American, it says 90% of the major scientists are atheists.
There you go.
So there's your incentive.
Yep.
Tim,
Yeah, because Scientific America is, going to know everything about all scientists. Sigma Step for $2 says, if Jiffy's here, time him out so no 77 memberships. Sweat harder, just email me, dude. Richard Harrod for £2 says, yeah, but Doctor Who isn't his own dad. Here's the thing. There was an accident, and I'm actually now technically everybody's dad. It was an accident with my time machine and a contraceptive, and, yeah, I'm your father.
I sent you a video because we were talking about so much scientific stuff. I want to talk about maybe a little less scientific stuff.
Alex Stein started to talk.
You a video on X where you're from Chicago, and you know this, Tim. You can go out there, and this is because I got to shut down Bob, even though I like you, Bob. If you go out there, if you pull up that video, if you look across Lake Michigan, Tim.
Who said that you could call Dr. Robertson Jennis Bob?
You can see the entire skyline of Chicago. I sent it to you on X.
Let me. What elevation, though? How high are those dunes?
You're talking about being able to see it?
I just want to say real quick,
Oh my God, Austin. Sorry, Astronomy Live says one thing, and Tim just cuts it off. Thomas Wright popped their super chat cherry for £5. Thank you very much. Austin has been distancing from flat Earth since the final experiment. He's going to say it doesn't disprove geocentrism, and the cycle will continue. Alright, but will he say he's wrong about the Earth being flat? That will be an interesting video. Richard Harrod for £2 says, Craig, if you're my dad, why do I have a beard? Well, because I don't, obviously. The fact that there's beards is proof that I am everyone's father because I gave my beard away. Like, do you even think before you talk?
There's this expanded flat Earth map that makes me wish the flat Earth stuff was real. You've seen this, I imagine, right?
Yeah.
The world beyond the ice wall. Mm-hmm. The idea being that the world as we know it is surrounded by this wall of ice, but outside of it are advanced civilizations. Yeah. And then there's another ring, and I'm like, that'd be so cool.
That would.
Yeah, that would be cool. It would make an awesome movie, but it's not real. King Conquest $499 says, I missed it. Did the Flat Earthers get taken to the South Pole yet? Is there a video of their reaction to 24-hour sun? No, that's in like 3 weeks, I think.
It's like there's like an advanced. So there's Odin, the walls of Asgard, the scorched wastes, Osiris, Nemo, Lemuria, and it's like we are trapped as sort of trapped in this zoo around this ice ring. And if only we could penetrate it, we could get to the great land of Aten and Atlantis.
Well, Admiral Bird.
Annalise Knapp for $2.79 Canadian says, if you're my dad, why didn't I inherit your moobs? These are pecs, actually. Look, there's fucking no fat on these anymore, right? This is muscle, okay? Richard Harrod, £2 says, in that case, Dad, can I have some pocket money? No, you didn't tidy your room like I fucking asked you to, did you? Alright? In fact, we need to talk about what I found in your bedroom, young man. You think that hiding it under your mattress is clever? No. No, I found it, and it's disgusting, okay? You know what, actually, you're grounded for a week. Go to your room. Fucking Rich. I thought I raised you better, frankly, Richie. You know? And don't be looking for it because I took it away. It's gone. Okay?
Was it General Bird or Admiral Bird? It doesn't matter.
Admiral.
He went to Antarctica. He was like the first explorer to really explore it. And he said that there's enough resources in Antarctica to supply the whole entire world. And so there is stuff in Antarctica that doesn't make sense that we don't know about.
A major problem for flat Earth, though.
Yeah. What resources exactly? Could you explain us?
If you look at that map, Tim, you've got South America pointing one way, you've got Australia pointing another way. How are they both able to see the South Celestial Pole looking south?
At different times?
To be fair, I will say this.
Why do you always omit that it's at different times?
The flat Earth...
What's at different times?
Theorists times to be
pointing one way, you've got Australia pointing another way. How are they both able to see the South Celestial Pole looking south?
At different times?
To be fair, I will say this.
Why do you always omit that it's at different times?
Well, no, they can see it at the same time. That's the point, you dumbass. Guys, I just got to say, the support on this stream is absolutely mental. RLCH for 2 years says, newsflash, true Christians aren't flat earthers. Borgenporia says, if you're everyone's dad, then is it time for you to give us the birds and the bees talk, FTFE? Yeah, right, right. So, when a mummy and a daddy love each other very much, the daddy takes his USB stick and inserts it into the USB slot of the woman. I mean, I'm not too sure of the details, but I think you press some buttons or something and there's a switch, possibly. And then a baby's made. It's somewhat like that, anyway. And make sure you put a condom on your hand, I think. Yeah, you'll be fine, kids. I swear. Rob Hoyle says, how are you, my father, when I'm old enough to be yours? Well, time travel. The Drunk Debunk Show said, Dad, a Flerf was mean to me and said I was a dum-dum. Here. Hit them with this. What type of USB? Oh, I mean, I don't really have those deep details about it, to be honest. Sweat harder. I still don't have an email from you, so you get 10 minutes timeout. And this isn't a dictatorship. This is my YouTube channel.
The flat Earth theorists do not believe this is a real map.
No.
It's a fantasy.
This is the thing, right? There's a model that claims to know exactly what the Earth is, and then there's a group of people who heard the insanity that people think it's flat or whatever. So they just went and challenged it and looked into it, and they've just suspended belief of the globe model. You know, this definitive flat Earth model thing is not popular within people who would say that they are flat earthers. We don't know. We can't even privately explore it, right?
You can! You fucking can! Witsit, you moron! You have been given the opportunity to go privately explore it. Someone has literally paid for you. You're probably not going. And I can't wait for you to get fucking sued for that 30 grand. Monkey Cat Pat Pat for $2 says, Hi, I'm Craig, and Witsit milk is delicious.
The empirical measurement shows that the Earth is not curving at the rate that they say, and we don't need Chicago. You can see Canigou Mountains from 100.
No, it absolutely is. You just ignore refraction. We've got so many measurements of the Earth doing exactly what we say it does, even by people that we personally know.
60 miles away.
Which the globe predicts.
It literally does, and
It literally does. You can go check it out.
So is this
the elevation of?
Is this an inaccurate depiction or?
Yeah, inaccurate. Straw man.
What's wrong with that picture?
Well, just like a.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's clearly not what the flat Earth looks like. This is the only actual picture of the flat Earth, and it's one they don't want you to see. Great, add 2 in there. The world turtle. Planawalk says you did not need to have that lick on the end. You like that, did you?
A disc in space. I don't know what.
It's just the demographics of the continents and how far they are away and the seas and everything. That's pretty accurate.
It's pretty accurate. When you get to the south, it's interesting because we actually dug into the GPS data, and in the south they make what's called meridian corrections. So they actually are pulling out land, like distance, out of the meridians, in between the meridians. Which
you have to. Whenever you flatten a globe, you have to do.
I like the fact in the chat here we've got surveyors debunk you for a living. MC Toon Live. You can privately explore Antarctica. Witsit is lying again. Yeah, he's literally fucking going there.
Well, what I'm saying is meridians. So they actually are pulling out land, like distance, out of the meridians, in between the meridians. Which
you have to. Whenever you flatten a globe, you have to do that.
Well, what I'm saying is, if it's really a globe, right, then we wouldn't have to do that for the actual raw GPS data, but they do. They also make Sagnac corrections, which is another falsification of relativity.
Well, that should tell you that the
No, the GPS uses the projections of the globes, and the Sagnac effect literally is what relativity says will happen. You just don't understand it. And guys, I know that I went just now, right? But I've had a couple of cups of tea before I started, and I need to pee again. So you get this.
The law rings up to make no sense. Perseverance, who cares what words I don't make mean, huh? The law, I don't like your words, so I pick my favorite words. What's real, non-real, super contained, metaverse, first person. Law, meta is an angle, real, fake. This is so physical, hit 'em up, chastise every young bitch that tries to stop me, Tupac. All humans can do is word salad or make up stuff. Disagree versus agree, he's not, it's not around, he's deaf, another deaf one. You can't hear, LOL, not a ball, it's a tear, low, no dirt in the middle. No dirt in the middle, no, 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 no. No dirt in the middle, no, 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 no. No dirt in the middle, no, 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 no. No dirt in the middle, no, 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 no. Low legs up to make no sense. Perseverance, who cares what words I don't make mean, huh? Low, I don't like yours, so I pick my favorite words. What's real, non-real, super contained, metaverse, first person. Low, meta is an angle, real, fake. This is so physical, hit 'em up, chastise every gun bitch that tries to stop me, Tupac. All humans can do is word salad or make up stuff. Disagree versus agree, it's not around, he's deaf, another deaf one. You can't hear, LOL, not a ball, it's a tear. Low dirty middle, low dirty middle, no, 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 no. Low dirty middle, no, 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 no. Low dirty middle, no, 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 no. Low dirty middle, no, 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 no. Low dirty middle, to make no sense. Perseverance, who cares what words I don't make mean, huh? Low, I don't like your words, so I pick my favorite words. What's real, non-real, super contained, metaverse, first person. Low, meta is an angle, real, fake. Low, dirty middle, no, 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 no. Low, dirty middle, no, 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 no. Low, dirty middle, no, 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 no. Low, dirty middle.
Richie Howard for £5. The King's money says, if your sex talk was better, I wouldn't need them dirty magazines under my bed, Dad. And you can't ground me, Dad. I'm 40, I'm telling Mum. You know what? I'm turning off your Wi-Fi. Richie, no Wi-Fi for you. In fact, I'm taking your mobile off the family plan. Okay? I found what was in those magazines and it's not on, alright? I raised you better, young man. And your mother, she will disagree with me, okay? You're grounded for a week, no internet, no phone, no video games, alright? And you have to wash the car.
GPS is based on a globe Earth.
Well, of course, but the point is that they have to run it through corrections to get the final longitude output, which shouldn't happen. And this is what I want to point out, though. Like
the corrections they run it through are, because they're traveling really, really fast and relativistic calculations need to be taken into account. Zuri Tomato says for $2, he learned it from you. Do as I say, not as I do. Dihydrogen monoxide for £2 says FTFE will never see what I search. I use a VPN. You think I don't have a screen monitor for you? Your search history is actually disturbing, by the way. Using an incognito tab doesn't help.
Physical tests that show that the Earth's not curving at the rate that they say that it is. So the Earth is measured flat. I wonder if we could all agree on this, that flat Earth is actually the default position, because it's always flipped around, right? Well, the horizon...
No, it's not the default position. Science has no... in the chat... FTFE, FTFE, FTFE. That's cool. Science has no default position. Alright? It doesn't. But if anything, the default position now would be the globe, because that's what matches every single prediction.
Horizon's horizontal. When we build things in civil engineering, we actually use plane survey. We do it flat. We connect horizontal. So bridges, runways, railways, canals. When we fly planes, all aviation, we have to treat the Earth like it's flat. Sea level, elevation is a distance above that. Whenever we actually got the latitude system, we took elevation angles to Polaris from a flat horizontal baseline that extended all the way to the zenith.
That doesn't prove anything.
No, well...
Yeah, you're just misunderstanding how angles are taken running the Oakley script there, Witsit. Flat baseline is imaginary. Richie Howard for £2 says, ha, jokes on you, Dad. I enjoy car detailing, prick. How dare you use that kind of language with me, young man? Right, you know what? Your Mega Drive, your Sega Mega Drive is going in the bin. Okay? And you know what? I had something really good planned for you for Christmas, Richie, but now, no Christmas presents for you. Alright? You're getting coal. Young man, you wait till I tell your mother. Ariel CH for €2 says, what is dirt? Lol, someone answer. Well, it's what's in the middle, obviously. Or not, as it would be. Rosie gave €2 and gave $2 and didn't leave a message. Thank you very much. No, Mega Drive, not Genesis. Sega Mega Drive. That's why the weekly magazine for it had the Mega Droid that would read the cheats out for you in the magazine. In Sonic the Comic. STC. Oh god, that's bringing back memories. Did anybody else get STC, Sonic the Comic?
Well,
it just proves that map works.
Trilateration only works on the globe, though. You can only get your position from the globe. Like you have to actually know the orbits of the satellites.
But there is no satellites.
I have a
no. There are satellites. Satellites disprove heliocentrism, and the actual path is nothing more than a projection. So
I quick question.
Satellites disprove heliocentrism. So things in orbit around the globe disprove heliocentrism. Satellites in the Lagrange points, literally watching the fucking things happen, disprove heliocentrism. Witsit, you're fucking moronic. Monkey Cat Pat Pat $2 says, it's not word salad, it's word vomit at this point. Richie, you're not allowed to watch. You should get the vacuuming done. You've been really, really bad. You don't deserve to watch this. Just please do the vacuuming. Oh, not even please. I'm just telling you. Do the vacuuming. Right? Every room in the house. Yes, and the kitchen. Stop complaining.
It was very rudimentary. Not going to get into deep science or anything. I once flew to New Zealand, and I'm looking at these flat Earth maps, and I'm like, I can't quite explain the path of the flight as it pertains to the flight I actually went on. So I know which direction we left from the airport, and I know I did not fly north or westward.
You're over water the whole time? Most of the time?
Yeah. And so that would imply that after we flew south beyond the visual, the ability to identify any landmass, the plane then hooked right. So it implies that when I flew from New York to Los Angeles to New Zealand, and I got these maybe these maps are inaccurate representations of flat earthers believe, but if I left from Los Angeles and we started flying south, which we did, as soon as we left the visual area so that no one on the plane could identify it, the plane then turns right, so it flies straight down and then hooks right instead of just flying straight to New Zealand. I don't believe that happened.
Well, planes are always making corrections based on cardinal direction, so you're not going to be able to tell in a plane, but
I can tell that we didn't fly westward.
Witz doesn't know what cardinal directions are. That's always funny. Yonderstone, pop in their super chat cherry. Thank you very much. $5, rather. They keep telling me that you can pray the gay away, but no matter how much I pray, Witsit won't stop sucking off Nathan Oakley. What am I doing wrong? RLCH for €2 says, I love glasses, dude. You too, FTFE. I love you too.
Or north. And so when we departed, we were flying south.
If you left South America and went to New Zealand, you could go there on a globe map straight to New Zealand. If you turn that into a flat Earth map, the flat Earth map would require you to dip down to make like a semicircle and then go up to New Zealand. That's a fact.
Well, yeah, there are many paths that make...
The guy that Witsit was giving fellatio to is basically trying to debunk him right now. It's quite funny. He's still a fucking idiot, but he's right about that. Yes, Stephen Cook, I did used to watch Angry Kid. That was funny. Guys, 94 members is absolutely insane to be given during one stream. And it was all to get this. Just once again, everyone, I would like to see the chat full of Globber Mom emojis, please. And just another 76 memberships to get a Naked Craig emoji.
More sense on, like, say, the azimuthal projection than the globe, and they claim all kinds of things. They didn't stop for gas or whatever. And I'll make it very clear, actually, I don't claim definitive projections. if we've been misled about the nature of the Earth, which I think the evidence is overwhelming that we have been, it would be very naive to think...
evidence is overwhelming, we have been. Then why haven't you ever shown any of that fucking evidence, you dipshit? That's the most gross-looking beard.
That we have a perfect depiction of the very thing that we were misled about. Of course we don't. Now, in the north, 90% of the world population here, we have a better grasp of it, but it's just a projection thing. And bringing up the satellite thing, that's kind of like a misnomer that like satellites can't exist.
The chat. Shut the fuck up, Ginger.
That's mean. Actually, satellites, for one, disprove heliocentrism. Because
hey, guys, what kind of trains aren't ginger people allowed on? The Soul Train.
Because they actually have to account for inertial forces. They account for centrifugal forces, which are considered...
What did ginger kids miss out from the parties on Saturday nights? The invites.
Fictitious and pseudo forces in your paradigm, they can't exist. So if there are actually satellites being put up there, they're accounting for the angular momentum of a rotating universe around a stationary Earth with inertial forces, centrifugal, Coriolis, and Euler forces. Those can exist.
How? No one will fucking answer this. How are those forces made? By what mechanism are they transferred? You keep saying this. The rotating universe is going to make Coriolis. How is it going to make Coriolis?
Exist in your paradigm. They don't exist in Newtonian mechanics. Those are forces external to Newtonian mechanics, and they don't exist in Einstein. So just point that out.
Witsit's trying to...
Satellites are actually, I love them. This idea that I'm scared of satellites. Well, I see Starlinks. I watch mini launches. I don't have a problem with that. I have a Starlink. You know, I haven't set up the internet, but I have one.
How do they stay up there?
Well, that's the equations. The physics and equations say they're using the spinning universe. That's what is factually in the...
No, they don't. How does the spinning universe make satellites stay up there? No equations say that spinning satellites are up there because of the spinning universe. No, there's no equations that make out that the universe is the reason satellites go up there. That's just fucking a lie on your part. Look at you. You're scared. Richie Howard for £2 says, I don't know what sucks more, this vacuum or you, Dad. You know what? Put the vacuum away. You're doing the rest of the house with a dustpan and brush. You're going to keep mouthing off. We're going to make these punishments worse, okay? I think, young man, you need to learn when to shush and just do as you're told. Put the vacuum back, get the dustpan and brush. I know it's a carpet, but you're doing the rest with a dustpan and brush.
Equations. It says that it uses centrifugal force. It's like if you had a ball tied to a rope and you spin it, right? It's going to keep going in a circle because you're pulling it, but the ball has a tendency to move out away from you. It's going to keep going around because you're pulling it. That's called centrifugal force. They have...
Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, I was joking about the naked Craig emoji, just like when I was when I asked you to wake Emma up. Just never listen to anything I say from now. Yeah, but I did wake Emma up, so you must have been serious, so you must be serious about this as well. So 76 memberships to get a naked Craig emoji.
Have to account for this and a real Coriolis force, which is like an inward centripetal force, so a radially inward force for the satellite equations. According to the heliocentric model, there is no such thing. That shouldn't.
How would they stay above a flare?
They're on balloons. Type in satellites on balloons. I'm telling you, they're
not all on balloons.
Ow! They're on balloons. They're on balloons, guys. Oh, look at Astronomy Live's face. Oh, that's brilliant. Someone screenshot that. Richie, I can hear you are complaining. Just get on with it. The quicker you get on with the sweeping with the dustpan, the quicker it's done. All right? If you whine, I'll give you another chore afterwards. Yeah, Sweat Harder, there's still no email, so bop. ROCH for €6 says, watch your words for YouTube, FTFE, chat, make sure to eat and drink alkaline foods. That's how you beat cancer. I'm a witless.
Balloons. They're not all on balloons, but they're satellites that were on balloons.
Yeah, it was called Project Balloon.
I'm just saying. So
Google,
they say
Google launched a bunch of balloons carrying internet nodes.
Exactly.
So they could float over the
Earth.
The military also
they use balloons, and NASA is the user.
So Elon's actually just...
Like, Alex has not spoken for ages, and he's like, balloons! It's all balloons! Satellites are balloons! He's like so excited that he can get a word in to say something fucking stupid. Also, has he put on weight? Why are all these people putting on weight and I'm losing it?
launching balloons, but putting
You
on a
can
show.
type it.
No,
you
no,
can
I
type in
don't
NASA. They do balloon launches. Literally,
I know.
type in that.
Yeah, they can do that if it's low Earth orbit. But if you have a weather satellite that's out there at 22,200 miles, you're not going to get a balloon out there.
See, I totally disavow those distance claims, and because the way that they do it, they take the signal, and that's cool. So what equation do you use to determine the distance?
Parallax. You just use simple trigonometry. It's basic trigonometry.
Really? So what's the length of
Yes, really, Witsit. Yes.
your baseline?
Well, let's see. For space station, it was 760 meters.
760 meter baseline to determine the distance to the space station.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he did it, and he did the maths to show it. Him and Red Rhetoric, they did an amazing job. Him and Reds are incredible at what they do. And I encourage everyone to go and look at the video on both Reds and Astronomy Live's channel that shows how they measured the distance to the ISS together that can be repeated. But I didn't say that, Arrow.
And you're saying it's impossible for the ISS to move over a plane?
What does that have to do with me measuring the distance? You can assume it's a plane.
Line to determine the distance to the space station.
Yep.
Okay. And you're saying it's impossible for the ISS to move over a plane?
What does that have to do with me measuring the distance? You can assume it's a plane. You can assume it's a globe.
Well, earlier you said trilateration was impossible.
Trilateration is about you finding your location. I'm
Right.
talking about measuring the altitude of the
Which
space
you need
station.
your location. So that you need your location.
I just know the baseline.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need your location. That's the prerequisite. So the point I was making.
He's ignoring the baseline thing. Sigma Set for $10 says, Acts 26:24. He was saying these things in his defense. Fetus exclaimed in a loud voice, "You're out of your mind, Paul. Too much study is driving you mad." Witsit and his Apostle Paul complex. Me says, where's Planawalk? I'm a big fan. I'm pretty sure they're in the chat.
I don't believe when he claims something's 22,000 miles away. I don't believe that.
Let me check. Yeah, Planawalk, she's in the chat there.
But he can. I don't.
The moon
right?
is to 240,000 miles away.
Yeah, see, I definitely don't believe that. And but this is the thing. The way that they get the distances, they actually use, of course, the equation for speed, and they assume the medium, the propagation rate of light, and they get how long it takes, the duration of signal to get there, right? And then they plug it into the assumption of the speed of light relative to the vacuum, and then they're going to supposedly get their distance.
Richie Harrod says, I hate you. I wish Witsit was my dad. Wait, no! Too late. Alright, if you want Witsit to be your fucking dad, then that's fine. You think he's going to buy you any nice gifts for Christmas? Do you think you're going to get fed 3 meals a day with Witsit as your father? No. It's a disgraceful thing to say to your father. How dare you? After all the sacrifice your mother and I have made for you. You know, just go to your... Don't worry about... just go to your room and stay there until I call for you. It might be a few days. Outrageous.
Disavow those assumptions. I don't think that's true.
Well, you guys are all wrong. The Earth is clearly hollow and flat. It's a donut.
Well, Vice is stupid. You know that.
We're in a donut magnetic field. I want to answer the firmament thing, though. The idea of putting them inside the firmament. All the early church fathers, even, but like many people throughout all of like biblical history, they said.
You see how he really quickly ran away from the fact that Astronomy Live measured the distance to the ISS.
That there were layers to a container. A physical container had layers, and the sun, moon, and stars are inside those layers of the firmament. And in fact, that they're specific to layers, meaning like the sun and moon and the stars are in a separate layer. So that would be how that's explained.
It's not explaining it.
Why not?
Because the Hebrew word is beirakia, which does not mean in or inside, like you're trying to say. You're trying to say that somehow you have the dome, and then there's the inside underneath the dome.
There are layers inside of it.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Multiple
what you're trying to say. But that's not what the Hebrew says. The Hebrew says it's in the firmament.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the definition of firmament is solid, how are the celestial bodies going to be in the firmament? Not underneath, because there's a lot of ways in Hebrew to say underneath the firmament.
Well, they're within the solid firmament.
And wait a second. And there's a lot of ways to say that the celestial bodies are over the firmament.
Well, they're not above or below because there's layers. They're within it.
The easiest way to understand.
Yeah, but you can't have that if the firmament's solid. That's what I'm trying to say.
But ice and water can go from.
This is just idiots arguing with each other at this point. I mean, Robertson Jenis is right about that. Not a Dr. Robertson Jenis is correct about that point. Clive Wells, etymology needs a container.
Solid, so maybe it could change.
Yeah,
Well, it's solid. It's not water.
I think the easiest way to understand the firmament is for anybody who's ever played World of Warcraft, and you try and go too far south, and your character just keeps walking into what's in the wall.
The best argument is that the physical antecedent for gas pressure is a container, right? Because the gas pressure would fill the available space. Second law of thermodynamics, entropy increases. So if we actually had an atmosphere next to vacuum, it would fill the available space. So where people just blindly,
whilst ignoring,
Gravity, you fucking retard! Gravity! Have you ever heard of fucking gravity? Gravity! Gravity!
throw out the word gravity, even though they don't even have a theory that works, and it wouldn't explain it anyway.
If gravity worked, you would have to admit that an atmosphere would be possible, right?
No, not next to a vacuum. It violates the second law of thermodynamics.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Not when there's gravity. Gravity creates a force to hold it on. That does not violate the second law of thermodynamics. A Monkey Cat Pat Pat for $6.66. Hail Sagan. Hi, I'm Craig, and this is Monkey Cat Pat Pat's last super chat of the night. His wallet is sad, but he loves FTFE in this community. Guys, please stop bankrupting yourself for me. ROCH gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Let's update the numbers. That's not it. We need 73 more members to get a naked Craig emoji. Steve Revel, member for 7 months, says, all of this word salad is making me hungry, Craig. We'll go and eat a salad.
Because how do we have a pressurized system?
You're right. Because they don't, the Tor measurement of vacuum in...
No entity says, hey, you are valued and your service is appreciated, don't complain. Well, I appreciate it so much. You know, I cannot give the words to say how thankful I am for what you guys do for me.
Space. They don't know whether it's 10 to the minus 6 or 10 to the minus 17. They have no way to measure it. So if it's 10 to the minus 6, we're safe. The atmosphere is not going to be sucked out. If it was 10 to the minus 17...
Wait, what?
System. You're right. Because they don't, the Tor measurement of vacuum in space, they don't know whether it's 10 to the minus 6 or 10 to the minus 17. They have no way to measure it. So if it's 10 to the minus 6, we're safe. The atmosphere is not going to be sucked out. If it was 10 to the minus 17, yeah, the atmosphere would be sucked out, but that means both your theory and my theory would be wrong.
Well, wait.
Holy shit. He thinks that 10 to the negative denotes a negative. No, yeah. Robert Sengenis, the doctor, doesn't understand negative exponents. Jesus Christ. Sigma Step for $10 says, I called Discover and they said by now they know who FTFE is and all charges are considered valid. Yeah, I had a word with them. In fact, I've now just got access to your credit card. To Tiska, £5 says, don't use that gravity vid again. You'll make Stoops cry. Stoops is crying all over X about me, by the way. It's hilarious. The guy has a massive hate boner for me. In fact, if you're on X, everyone go and poke Stoops about me. Just tell him how much he loves me. Monkey Cat Pat Pat for $2 says, I lied. I know you did, and I love you for it. Bill Tetley for $5. Hi everyone, I'm Craig, and I'm going to get some more tequila because I'd rather be drunk than deal with Austin Witless. There's actually no tequila left in the house at the moment. My wife and I drank it all. JSS Tiger, $5. So satellites can't go around Earth, including the moon? I know, right? Big satellite. Richie Howard for £2 says, Dad, can I have some pocket money for these super chats? What do you mean? I gave you 20 quid pocket money and I gave you another £5 to buy those skins you wanted on Roblox. Where's your money gone? If you can't manage your own fucking, you put £20 should be enough for you for the week, alright? We're going to have a talk, Richie. In fact, hey, I told you to go to your bedroom. What are you doing? Dihydrogen monoxide for £2 says, stop spying on my search history. Well, where do you think I get my, wank bank from? What?
I think there's something contained.
Why can't they measure it? Couldn't you...
They can't get an exact figure. They know it's between
If we had consistent access to Mars, could you?
If we what?
Had consistent access to Mars.
Mars, I don't think would have anything to do with it.
Well, you're two different gravitational bodies giving us a reference.
Talking about outer space,
right? And
what's
so
the vacuum in outer space?
So if Mars can't maintain an atmosphere the size of Earth,
yes, he's saying if you were able to like kind of sit on Mars and make more like calibrated memeasurements.
What's the rate at which the atmosphere dissipates for Mars if it can't maintain, or the Moon or something?
Well, it's a lot more because it has less gravity.
Right. So then you could measure the baseline by which what is the amount of mass required.
It's really funny because it's people arguing about things that none of them really agree with.
To sustain an atmosphere, you could then determine if it's not going to hold it because the vacuum is pulling on it.
You could, maybe. But I'm just telling you what the books say.
And the gas pressure need, the way that we actually even do the equation for gas pressure is a physical barrier, because pressure is the energy or force exerted on the walls of a container.
Monkey Cat Pat Pat says for $2, can I claim the super, well, actually says supper chance. No, wait, super chats on my taxes. I don't know about your supper chats, but you could probably claim maybe your super chats if you like get creative about it. I mean, if you're self-employed, you could probably get away with saying that it's kind of a business expense somehow if you're a YouTuber. However, here's the thing, Monkey Cat Pat Pat. I can claim your super chats on my taxes.
So you need to even have pressure, to even invoke pressure, it presses on the walls of a container.
So, real quick, sorry. The presumption of why the Earth has an atmosphere is because the gravity is holding this matter to the Earth.
Yes.
And for Mars, there is not enough. The gravity is weaker, so the atmosphere is much thinner because it can't hold as much.
And that's why Saturn and Jupiter have a much thicker.
Not just that, but Mars doesn't have an active magnetic field anymore to protect it from the solar winds, which ripped away the majority of its atmosphere.
Atmosphere. Because more gravity.
But gas disperses in all directions on the surface where gravity would be the strongest, right? Like gas goes in all directions. You can't just have a vacuum next to a gas pressure on the surface. Gravity's the strongest here. So that's the modern model just isn't true. It defies physics. And I'm waiting for an answer to that. If gravity's the strongest at the surface,
the atmosphere is a gradient, and I've got a simulation that I programmed myself that's on my channel that shows a simulated planet with gravity holding onto an atmosphere. And yeah, it's a gradient. As you go further out, it goes.
Look at this super chat that Tim just got. Oh, for fuck's sake, Sungenis believes 10 to negative 17 is a negative pressure. It's a positive number. No law is broken by a pressure gradient. I know. It's fucking hilarious. On my side, however, King Conquest for $4.99, Naked Craig emoji needs to be your head on Birth of Venus by Botticelli. That'll be fun. We've had 99 new members this stream. That's incredible.
Yeah, air gets thinner.
Simulation.
Air gets thinner the higher you go, so people die on Mount Everest.
Yeah, there's definitely a gradient.
Hydrogen that escapes out into outer space because it's just too light for the gravity.
Look at that, guys. Right, the second Astronomy Live started talking, they all just piled over him.
Gravity picks and chooses between some of the gas.
It's because the hydrogen is lighter than helium.
But why does all the hydrogen not leave?
Because we have enough gravity that it has to seep out slowly.
That's the pick and choose. And
no, it's not picking and choosing. That's the physics of it.
My question really is, we all agree gas disperses in all directions, right? Like,
what?
Okay, so gravity's not actually pulling the air down as you're claiming to where it keeps it next to a vacuum. It disperses in all directions where gravity is the strongest.
Well, what is your explanation for gravity?
It disperses in all directions where gravity is the strongest. Gravity is what is stopping it dispersing in all directions. You fucking dipshit, Witsit. Witsit fucking dipshit, man. Roland DeBurr took me up to 100 new members today with a gifted membership. Thank you very much. If you just became a member, say thank you to Roland, who gave it. Voodoo Rufus was given a membership by Roland. Thank you very much, buddy. That means 72 new super chats for 72 new memberships for a naked Craig emoji. Turn-based Nana said for $10 and pop in their super chat cherry. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm from Texas. Caught you live, love your videos. Check out this success YouTuber dunk on Flatzoid for an hour. I think you'll love it. Love the Birdman debunking conspiracy theorist. Flatzoid part 1. Thank you. I will definitely check it out.
Well, I mean, I would say that everything for density and buoyancy is a major part of it because it's all just pressure mediating relative to its medium.
Oh, what's Sweat Harder saying in the chat? You want to debate on the nature of PDFs, they're all queer. That's why I'm timed out, isn't it? For saying that many streams ago. No, you're... I mean, why is it only you guys talk about that stuff? That's always strange. But number two, the reason you're getting timed out, and I'll make this very clear for you, is because you haven't sent me an email to arrange debate about the flat earth. Do that. I'll just check. No notifications. See? It says no notifications, right? If I get an email, then you can come on and you won't get timed out. iSoldier74 says, sorry I can't do super chats today. Do not apologize. You are here watching my stream. You don't know how much that means to me. Thank you for all the support you give, every single one of you.
Right, so ping pong, golf ball. But I would say, and this is what I say, I don't speak for anyone else, that everything's electric. And so everything that exists is electrostatic. Literally everything that exists. There's not one exception. Everything's electric. And that's 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity's even claimed to be on the smallest scale.
How does this explain a balloon full of helium rising in the air?
Well, that's probably more merely buoyancy.
But buoyancy, like for instance, when you look at these videos of outer space, they put balloon, they cover it with water. The water just sits around it. There's no movement in either direction. Well, buoyancy requires gravity.
In quote unquote space. Now,
Very
okay,
good.
That's the claim, but I'm trying to explain.
Yeah, it does. Tim's absolutely right there. You on Earth, buoyancy is a result of gravity. It is like, let's say this is the air, right? And this is something else, right? That's denser than air. Okay, they're both being pulled down by gravity. But because this has more mass, it's pulled down with a stronger force, so it literally pushes this out the way and makes it go up instead. Signal Step, $2 says, super chat for iSoldier74. Oh, thank you, buddy. RLCH for €2 says, FTFE, it's Roland D. R, not Burr. I know, but I can't pronounce names, so you just get called what I call you. PhD Tony for $2 says, neutrons are electrostatic, are they? No, they're fucking not. Eclipse Chris says, apologies, I cannot super chat, also not watching. Yeah, I can see you not being here. It's just not on.
Really, what it requires is little g, which is downward acceleration. That's just the effect. We measure how fast things fall. Big G, or the cause of that, is a totally separate thing. I don't deny little g, and I would actually say I know a better cause for it. There's a downward electric current on the Earth. It's based on the electric field has equipotential increase. So every meter you go up, the electric field on Earth increases 100 volts in potential, and that creates a downward electric current. You can actually read Feynman lectures. I think it's 9.1. He explains this.
Yeah, and that downward electric current is gone by a couple of 100 feet. It's just not there. So why do things still fall above that? Hey? Yeah. Witsit, I want to be as nice as I can here to you. You are as intelligent as toe fungus. Oh, fuck me. Oh, shit. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Yeah, I know. I'm all right, I'm doing it, okay? I'm sorry. Hold on. Yes, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to apologize. Once again, I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment. And I've said something which I really shouldn't have said online. Now, just now on the stream, I compared Austin Witsit's intelligence to that of toe fungus. Of course, that's just not, it's not on, it's not fair, it's not something you should do. And I know my audience, you expect better of me. So, to be clear, for when I just, equated Austin Witsit to toe fungus in intelligence, that I need to give a sincere and unreserved apology to all breeds and types of toe fungus. It was unfair of me to compare you to someone as low IQ as Witsit gets it. And I hope that you can, you and the internet and my followers and my supporters, you can forgive me for making that horrible thing that I said. And I am trying to grow as a person, and I know I shouldn't say those kind of things. Insulting toe fungus like that is probably going to result in a Last of Us type situation. So I do apologize from the absolute bottom of my the hole where my heart should be. I apologize from there for ever saying that Witsit is smarter than or as intelligent as toe fungus, because we all know that toe fungus is orders of magnitude smarter than Witsit. Fuck's sake. I think I got away with it. You guys good? You understand? Do you forgive me? I mean, you're my supporters. You forgive me, right? Monkey Cat Pat says for $2 says, how do I super chat? I'm not sure, buddy. There's a button. Try pressing it and typing in some numbers. Right, anyway, after that. Yeah, I know, Flat Earth Denier. I'm gonna hear from the toe fungus's lawyer. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All right, I'm just human. Okay.
There's horizontal equipotential lines, and it creates a downward current. It's very weak, but it's very.
Does that imply that gravity gets weaker at a distance?
Well, that's what your model would claim as well. Now, I would actually have.
Terry Tickles says, "Isn't toe fungus what Witsit's beard is made of?" No, it's what's left from Oakley's pubes when he was giving him a rim job. Who jars $5 Australian? I have tried to grow as a person. It went a bit too well.
Have to get out of it. Yeah, of course. The further away you get from the center of mass, but like it would be negligible, and I would actually have to know what the electric field is doing over 50 miles. Like the most I can independently verify is 30, 35 miles. The mainstream model claims that like around 50, 60 kilometers the electric field changes. Well, that's convenient, right? Because that's where we can no longer.
Yeah, but your electric field is starting out.
That's convenient. Yeah, because we fucking measured it, you dipshit.
Up there in space, and it's coming down. Correct.
Well, I do believe I believe that that's a major variable is that there's tons of electromagnetic radiation coming from the sky, basically coming down to the Earth.
Yeah, but that implies to me that it's stronger up there than it is down here.
Well, everything goes to seek equilibrium, right? And that's why there's a downward current. You can actually run a generator off of the air.
I think we've shown, help me, that gravity gets weaker the higher you go.
Well, and if it's just electrics, then why do neutrons not float?
Okay, you're saying neutrons don't have any electric properties?
Correct. They're neutral.
Exactly. Neutrons are not electrostatic in nature.
They have a net neutral charge. So they're actually, in your paradigm, I don't even believe in this, but they're comprised of quarks. Well, I don't believe in subatomic pseudoscientific particles. It doesn't matter. You're laughing, but I'm about to show you that you don't understand it. That obviously it's made of quarks, and they're made of elementary charges or fractional elementary charges. So they're fundamentally electric.
Neutrons are electrically neutral, though. So why do they not float?
Are they inherently electric?
They are electrically neutral.
See, that means that no, they're not inherently electric because they're electrically neutral. He answered your question.
Just now directly rebutted this. That's the net charge, but they're inherently electric. If they're net charge neutral, then why would they not float in your model? If electrostatics is just, if that's the explanation for gravity, why are neutrons affected by gravity?
Okay, because this is your model of neutrons, and that they're material. All material is electrostatic, and you tried to bring up neutrons, and that's what anyone can ever bring up because they think it has no charge. You're wrong. It actually does have charge. Everything does. Everything's electric. That's the true unified theory.
Okay, but the charge is neutral. That's what it has. It has neutral charge. Something can't and you're trying to say, oh, it's net neutral, so it's got bits of positive and bits of negative, right? Something can't decide to just react to the positive bits or just react to the negative bits. The whole thing, the whole neutron, is no charge.
They can't invoke this, though, because it's going to start to have ether and geocentrism pop back in. But the point is...
Lisa, thanks for hanging around, and I really appreciate your support. I understand watching Witsit hurts my brain as well, but I do it so you don't have to.
All molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature. What that means is all molecules in the world that are held together in any piece of matter, you name it, rubber, sand, glass, wood, name anything in the world, it's held together by electrostatics.
Yeah, but how does that prove gravity, though?
Well, see, I don't have to prove a replacement for gravity. I'm stating a fact, which is...
Yeah, well, we agree with that. It's all electrostatic.
And think about this.
I have no problem with that.
Well, no, it's not all electrostatic. Gravity is not electrostatic. But Austin, you are claiming electrostatic as a replacement for gravity, so you do have to prove that it's able to do that, because that is your positive claim. And as you have said many times, positive claims require burden. Pope Russian for $5 says, you gotta love Witsit trying to explain stupidity on a Russian disinformation agent's podcast. Laughception. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about the Tim Pool stuff, but I have looked into it a little bit, and it appears that he's paid by Russia or something. I don't know, but he also seems pretty stupid. I'd love to go on his podcast and laugh at him.
What is
King Conquest 199 American Dollarulis says, does Witsit know the major cation causes gravity? No, that's only a secret that just us and Trey knows.
Is weight. It's weight equals mg. Because you're actually asking me to explain what causes weight. When you ask me about gravity, you have a different idea that everyone's antipodal and omnidirectional, and there needs to be a force pulling me on a sphere that's flying around the sun. I don't believe in that. I'm just going to state the facts that there's weight, and what is it? It's mass times quote unquote gravity, right? Little g.
Yes, mass times gravity. The acceleration due to gravity. Thank you very much. True Cereal for $5, and this is their third super chat on the channel. Says, I saw my baby crying hard as babe could cry. What could I do? My baby's love had gone and left my baby blue. Nobody knew. Am I supposed to sing that? I'm not singing until the last day of this month. Pope Russian says that Tim Pool's been indicted for failing to register as a foreign agent. Is he? I have no idea.
That's how fast things fall. So what is mass? It's volume times density. That's what it is. So then what is density? Density is the...
No. Mass is resistance to inertia. That's what it is.
Compactness of matter, right? So what's the cause of density? Whatever's holding the matter together with a certain compactness, we know that is electrostatics. The actual primary cause...
Yeah, good point, Max. Max says, Witsit says everything is electrostatics while at the same time saying atoms are pseudoscience. He can't seem to grasp his internal contradictions.
How does that prove gravity, though?
No, it's explaining what weight is. That's all you're asking when you ask, what is gravity? We were talking about weight. Because now I would actually say...
Yeah, you've got two balls, A and B. Okay? Mm-hmm. Both are held together electrostatically. We agree with that. Yeah. But why is A attracting B, and why is B attracting A?
Oh, well, that's a claim, and you maybe have to invoke Cavendish. Cavendish is the only thing even claimed to supposedly show that.
Well, it hasn't been disproved.
No, it's not. There's so many ways to show that mass attracts mass. That's not the only one. Where's Wally sending a chat to Tim Pool? I will become a member of your channel if Alex goes to Antarctica. Seeing all these people that we know over there. Jack of all trades, Sea Lion Prime, where's Wally? They're all our guys. Signal Step for $2 says, more super chats, guys, less gifted memberships. No, you must gift more memberships because I need 73 more. And you get a naked Craig emoji and you'll fucking like it.
Proven.
Well, so
that's why we do it.
So Cavendish is... You can't actually eliminate the variable of electrostatics in that test.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you can. You can use different materials which have different electrostatic properties and see that you still get the same result. Witsit gets it. You're a fucking idiot. Oh, wait. I did it again. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why do I do these things? Ladies and gentlemen, please accept my unreserved apologies. I compared Austin Witsit to idiots. Idiots do not reserve that kind of insult and downright talking down to. I do apologize to every idiot on the planet. You are far more intelligent than Witsit gets it. Please do not sue me. Thank you very much. Signal Step for $2 says, lol, Discover just texted me denying that last one. I'll let them know. It'll be fine. Monkey Cat Pat gift the membership. Thank you very much. 101 memberships during this stream. Only need 72 to get a naked Craig emoji.
The balls attracting each other.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because of electric variables. So, and this is even well known in mainstream.
But you have to prove that.
No, I'm going to explain it. In mainstream, it's actually known. Even when you put Faraday material in between the balls in a Faraday cage and ground the entire system, it still actually has electromagnetic variables that are affecting the balls. This is well known. And then Cavendish actually, didn't even account for electrostatics at all. Supposedly ran across his yard with a telescope and saw it kind of jiggle a little bit, and then knew the density and weight of Earth by assuming and reifying the sphere. All this comes to is people wanted the Earth to be a sphere. They presupposed it. They built a model around it based on what they saw. Then they wanted the Earth to...
Cavendish wasn't about proving the Earth was a sphere. He knew the Earth was a sphere. He just kind of wanted to weigh it and show that mass attracts mass. Monkey Cat Pat says, how do I gift a membership? Next, where it should be in the same thing when you bring up super chats, and there should be options to become a member, gift memberships, super sticker, super chat. If you want to gift memberships, you just do it that way, I think. Thank you. F Grudge says, as a certified idiot, I accept your apology. And F Grudge, I saw your message on Discord, buddy. No, don't go anywhere. We love you. Don't care. Politics matters not to me. All right. Craig is a fungi phobe. Sweat Harder says boo. Nope. Let me just check. Get my watch up so you can see, and I'll go to the notification panel. No notifications.
To be a sphere that's moving around the sun, and they built a model around it.
If it's true that the satellite can be at a 22,000 miles, I know you don't believe that, but could it take a picture of the Earth and show that it was
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But
okay, the 500-mile satellites most of them are about 500 miles above the Earth. They're going around the Earth at a pretty rapid clip, and they're taking pictures of the Earth. Now, what I've heard the flat earthers say is that, first of all, there's no satellites, so there's no pictures taken. And then when NASA comes back with the pictures are a little distorted because the satellite, being only 500 miles up, can't take a picture of the whole Earth, obviously. It can only take a picture of a small section, and then it moves on, and it takes a picture of another section, and it moves on and takes a picture of another section, okay? And then it brings all these sections back, and you have to put them all together. And that's hard to do. Why? Because you're making pictures of a circle. And if you have circles that you're taking pictures of, you're not going to have square pictures. You're going to have peels, like an orange peel. And then you got to put all these peels together. And when you do, the flat earthers say, oh, well, you're manipulating the pictures because...
Well, you are manipulating.
And
he was making some sense there, and then Alex is going, no, you are manipulating it. Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, FTFE, how else can I support Craig? He's amazing. Nah, that Craig dude's a dick. Fuck him.
Admit that's what they did.
I mean, they do admit you have to do that because you're dealing with a circle.
Okay, well, it's not proof of anything, right? Like, let's just make sure the audience knows this. The first wallpaper on the first generation of iPhone was the blue marble, right? Does anyone remember the first? It was just So everyone saw the picture, right?
Blue marble.
And I would just assume that's a picture of the Earth from space. It was not, though. It was literally fake. And Robert.
No, it wasn't fake. It was pictures of the Earth from space, made from multiple pictures, just put together. Doesn't mean it wasn't real. I mean, it had some artistic, what's the word I'm looking for? Artistic liberties taken, but it wasn't fake. It was made from real pictures. You know, Austin, you are just, a complete and utter fucking dipshit. Oh my god. I can't do this every time. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry to dipshits. You're not as stupid as Witsit. Witsit is much more stupid than you. Dipshit shouldn't be said things like that about because it's totally unfair. Please have my apology. Do not sue me, blah, blah, blah. You're smarter than Witsit. Yeah, fuck's sake. I can't keep doing that.
Simmons, who worked for NASA, who actually did it.
You can pull this up.
You can pull it up.
Oh, yeah, I soldier's right. Subject shift. He was getting cornered on electrostatics.
Straight up tell you, Robert Simmons, Blue Marble, NASA.gov. And he says, what we did was we take pictures, a flat map pictures. We take a bunch of pictures. We put it in a flat map. We compile it. Then we have to transform that. We actually have to turn that into a sphere. We wrap that around a sphere. Then we have to bring in cloud layers and an artist. And my job was to actually touch it up to make it look like what the observer would expect it to look like by painting it, by literally painting it. So the picture that everyone assumed was...
he didn't paint it. That's not what Photoshop is. Yeah, he added some bits of clouds and stuff, but it was literally strips of the Earth put together. And, it was real. It was taken from real images. But there's ones from way before, Like this one is from 1969. This is even before the 1972 Blue Marble. Look at it.
Was a real picture of Earth from space all over the default wallpaper is admittedly not real at all.
That's just a guy who made a Photoshop art for iPhone.
Yeah,
no, for NASA.
That's for NASA.
Pictures don't come in curves; they come flat when you take a picture. So you have all these flat pictures, and now you have to assimilate them all to make the true picture. And you're going to have to add stuff, take stuff away because they're all you have to end up with.
Is it too much to ask for though? A picture of the Earth that's not edited,
which is available every day.
Yeah, here. There you go.
Going to convince you?
I believe there's satellites. A picture of the Earth that's not edited, which is available every day.
How are we going to convince you?
He got 2 words out. Astronomy Live got 2 words out. That's all he was allowed to say before someone jumped over him. You see how he's been politely sitting back and letting this happen? He got 2 fucking words out and got spoken over. Single Step, which is your name. For $5, I've been waiting 5+ years for Craig to go full screen and apologise to me. What have I done to offend you? You keep giving me money. All right, hold on. Signal Step, I am truly sorry that you will not be able to make your mortgage payments this month because you've given me so many super chats. I'm sorry that you are likely to be homeless this time next month because you've given me so many super chats. I do sincerely apologize also for the extreme amount of brain damage and face palming you've probably got from watching me over these years. Again, you need to have your credit card taken away from you.
I believe there's satellites. I didn't say there's no satellites. I'm just saying the pictures that they give.
Do you believe there's a satellite out there at 22,200?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
Do you or not?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so you don't, basically.
And if it was, why can't we just make a video of it? It's 2024.
We do. It's on TV every night. It's called a weather satellite.
A video. Like, we don't have...
Why can't we make a video of it? Well, the video is what, Austin? A bunch of frames put together. So, this is a video. Pretty bad frame rate. Still a video. Yeah, I know Jeff C. He said assimilate the pictures. I did notice that. But well, I guess I put that, but I didn't consider Austin's argument of nuh-uh. Eric, who's been a member for 2 months, and that is 1/5 of the way around the sun. Yeah. Eric, for 2 months been a member, he says, it's easier to fool a man than it is to get him to admit he's been fooled. He will lie to himself to keep from feeling ashamed. Austin should always feel ashamed.
Actual video. Like, if you could have shut this down, you went to the moon supposedly, just put a freaking camera on the moon, even without sending people.
That's a different topic.
No,
We're not
either way,
talking about going to the moon. We're
satellites,
talking
whatever.
I think the issue is they're so concerned with sending $250 billion to Ukraine, no one's going to put any money into moon travel. But Elon Musk is working on it, so...
I mean, shut up, Tim.
Well, first it was that we're going to the moon. Now we've skipped it over. They said they're going to go back to the moon for the last 20 years.
Oh, Astronomy Live got out another word there, and I missed it. So let's go back and see that.
I mean, Discover takes.
Well, first it was that we're going to the moon. Now,
see, look. He got frustrated there because he didn't get a chance to speak. Watch him.
No one's going to put any money into moon travel, but Elon Musk is working on it, so...
I mean, Discover takes.
Well, first it was that we're going to the moon. Now we've skipped it over.
See, he started speaking. Austin I'd say Scott got one word out there, right? And Austin interrupted him.
They said they're going to go back to the moon for the last 20 years.
For Artemis.
Someone actually owes me like $25K because they didn't go by 2025. They were so confident. This happens regularly, then everyone forgets. It gets lost. It gets memory hold.
Who owes you that money?
I'm gonna give him a break. He came and asked me that. He like kind of groveled a bit. I'm like, you're good, brother. It's all good. So.
Well, because they want to build a space station on the moon so that they can deposit materials, create rockets, and then use the moon as a launching.
That was a lie. Austin just stole something that happened to Jaren and claimed it happened to him. Flat Earth Denier, yeah, sure, I can do that at one of these streams. Dihydrogen monoxide for £2 says, why do Flerfs always talk at 10,000 words per minute? It's to try and sound like they know what they're talking about.
Point for Mars. I don't know if Elon's actually planning on doing that, but he's saying...
Well, he tweeted something how they even need a rocket that can refill in its path to the moon.
I mean, that's the mode of operations for Starship, right? Is the whole idea is you're launching a very large rocket, and when it gets into orbit, it's pretty much empty. It pretty much doesn't have much fuel, maybe just enough for landing, which is what they've been testing, but it doesn't have enough fuel to go all the way to the moon, right? So the idea is then you launch another one, and it brings up a little extra fuel. And you do this over and over again and fill it up in orbit, and now you have a vehicle that can go to...
But we were able to do it in
1969. Yeah, why? If that's the case, how come they had enough fuel in 1969?
Because in 1969, they weren't reusing the rocket. That was a one-time use only kind of deal. This is reuse the whole thing.
Oh, right. It has enough
fuel. It's got enough capability to come back. So Starship, it's stainless steel. That's heavy stuff. That's not great when you're trying to build a rocket.
You're saying when it comes back from the moon, it needs to be able to land itself.
They won't get caught by the tower, right? Like they've been doing.
That was crazy. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk caught a 30-story building.
Yeah, but that was more of like a magic.
Yeah, he did. Oh, Alex Stein says what?
Trick. I mean, I don't know.
I think, we got questions about Elon Musk caught a 30-story building.
Yeah, but that was more of like a magic trick. I mean, I don't know.
I think...
More like a magic trick. How is it a fucking magic, you dumb?
We got questions about politicians, but ain't nobody questioning the integrity of that Eratosthenes. I don't.
That is true.
What was that all about?
Hey, Ashty Alexander, thanks for hanging out. Good night.
Yeah,
that works with the localized.
I heard he was cheating on his wife. Who knows what's going on?
Primary documentation doesn't even exist of that ever happening either.
Well, the thing is that you can move the light source to the other side, and once you move the light source, you show that the Earth is fixed, and the light source can change its position. So Eratosthenes really didn't prove anything.
Yeah.
Someone says that the speed up makes me crazy. Maybe it's just me. I tend to listen to videos on 1.5 in general. But it's just listening to the idiots speak. They talk. They take so long to say things that I just want it sped up.
What he did.
You can do it over. I could actually do that experiment on this table and then show you the math of what size sphere this table is. You know, because you have different angles, you assume spherical trigonometry.
Can I ask you a question about the stars, constellations?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the globe Earth, you have the northern constellations headed by Polaris on the top, the North Star, which is the tail of the Big Dipper. Okay, and you got some other constellations, the Bear and Cassiopeia and all that around. And then on the southern, you have near the South Pole, you have Octans, Mesmos, there's several other constellations there.
Cross.
Okay, so if the Earth is flat now, how are you going to incorporate those southern stars that in the globe model take up a whole hemisphere? Okay, how are you going to put them into the flat Earth model that only has a dome, does not have a sphere?
Perspective, personal dome.
It only has a hemisphere.
Wait for it.
How are you going to fit those stars in there?
Yeah, so
really annoys me, right? It really fucking annoys me when stupid people like Robertson Jennings talk some sense and argue my points. I fucking hate it. Don't do that.
South.
Well, I mean, they can actually.
It's like when that, what's his fucking name? The young Earth creationist guy that argued, Danny Faulkner. Fuck off. You're a moron. Please don't argue for the globe.
Be embedded into the firmament itself, but what I actually think.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
What'd you say?
They can actually be inside of layers within the firmament itself.
Well, we don't see them.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean from the
I
north?
have to travel.
So you're asking why I
down
can't see them
here to the bottom to
Yeah.
see those stars.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
How
pretty
can they be embedded in the northern hemisphere?
pretty simple. No, well, I just meant the firmament itself, but I misunderstood your question. It's a pretty simple answer, right? It's like the same reason that street lights look like they're going down. So in the globe paradigm,
What do you mean?
See, perspective.
if I look at a long street, the street lights are all 10 feet tall, but they're going to
Okay.
look like they're going down.
So you're going to give me the perspective argument.
well, that's
Is that
what
correct?
that's what it is.
How? How does
Because
that
the way we
explain it?
actually made these measurements is we actually looked at Polaris and we took an elevation.
F Grudge says, you must remember he's talking to Whipshit. Everyone seems intelligent in comparison. Yeah, he does. You're right. Everyone seems intelligent in comparison.
Angle to Polaris, and we had a horizontal baseline that goes all the way to the zenith underneath Polaris. Now on a globe, obviously you can extend a horizontal baseline hundreds of miles, and then what we did was went back a little further. The angle changes. Again, flat Earth measurement. The Earth measures flat. To even make the globe model, you had to make flat Earth measurements to get the.
No! Right. I can use the Theodolite app on my phone and measure the angle between these two spheres. I didn't make flat Earth measurements to do that because the imaginary baseline to do it is flat. Look, I've seen you get ball-bagged by Nathan Oakley, Witsit, okay? Don't do this.
The latitude system. So basically, the perspective causes the star to drop down, just like the street lights, and you keep on making those angle measurements. What they then did was take those angle measurements that change based on your distance, and they put it into a spherical coordinate system. So.
Oh, wait a minute. If the stars come out at night, all the stars come out at night at once. Okay? They're not spread out over time.
Yeah.
And we only see the northern constellations.
Yeah.
We don't see the southern constellations.
Until you go further south. Right? I mean, you don't even have to go all the way to the.
No, if I went on a flat Earth to the edge, I still wouldn't see them.
What?
You can go to any point on the Earth in that circular disk, and you still won't see the southern celestial stars.
Well, the stars are spinning, and as they come over top of you in your southwest.
So Robert thinks that Austin thinks that the southern hemisphere stars are underneath us because the dome would just be the northern hemisphere. But he doesn't understand the flat Earth argument of, no, all the stars are in the dome above us. We can just see certain ones because of perspective for some reason, even though they're further away than the sun, which you say disappears because of perspective when I can still see the stars.
Which they're actually more stretched out than in the north, and you can actually see them from a greater distance away than in the north, which is a major problem. I mean, you can see more constellations from a greater distance in the north and the south, which should be symmetrical.
There should be some place on your disk.
Sir Little Wolf, you are correct.
Where I can see octans.
Yeah, it's just the stars are above us.
Where am I going to see it?
Out south. It's just away.
Out south.
It's away from north.
Okay, well.
What's the difference?
Tim, because we're running out of time. I want to get.
It's away from. It's just out south. And the dumbest person in the room is talking now. Let's rank the intelligence levels of the people in the room, right? at the top. Oh, is it buffering? One sec, I will. There we go. Right. So yeah, let's do a ranking of the intelligence of the people in the room. Now, number one, I think we all agree the most intelligent person in that room is clearly Scott Ferguson, Astronomy Live, right? Second most intelligent person in the room. They're not intelligent, but they're the second most intelligent person in the room. It is Tim Pool. They seem to be a bit of a dipshit and an asshole, but you know, yeah. So then the third most intelligent person in the room, again, they're not intelligent, but in that room, they are the third most intelligent, is probably Robertson Jenis, right? He at least realizes the Earth isn't flat. However, he's a liar, a con man, and a dumbass that thinks the Earth is geocentric and bought a PhD from a diploma mill on an island in the middle of the ocean. After that, it's a hard one, right? Let's get a poll for this for the bottom. Who is dumber? Witsit or Shitstain? Surprised they let me put up that poll. Right, let's figure out the bottom two, guys. Is it Witsit or is it Shitstain? Let's figure out who's the dumbest.
To get your guys' perspective or your reasoning, June 8th, the day that the Earth is 99% lit by the sun. How is that possible?
Because you are interpreting that wrong. We went over this.
No, I'm not interpreting it wrong. Austin, please tell Tim.
Well, that's population. He's talking.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. But it is roughly 65% of the physical sphere in actual light.
You can only
No,
light.
it's
If it's a
not.
ball, you can only light 50.
It's 50%, not 65. That's a lie. Roland de Boer for £5 says, if Tim Pool is ever the second smartest person in your room, get out. I know, right?
That's because they're counting astronomical twilight.
No,
as sunlight.
it's not. That's not the only thing, though. That's not the only thing that makes it go over 50%. So what's your argument for why it goes over 50%? It's not only astronomical twilight.
Well,
That's
astronomical
patently wrong.
twilight is the first
Basically
twilight
dark.
that happens.
Yeah.
It's basically dark. You need a telescope just to see it.
It's
and that is
the same
that is
reason
the
you see
furthest
the moon
extent.
with a glow on it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's filled the whole moon.
What? Every single fucking time Scott opens his mouth, someone interrupts him.
And you see a glow around the moon.
Yeah, that sounds like a local light source. But what I want to know is, like, you're going to claim the lights. You have to claim that the light's bending around. Partially bending around.
The first.
Right, Tim's had a fair few super chats. I mean, right, to be honest though, right, I'd say I probably had as many super chats during this stream as I've seen Tim get, right? And considering he had like 10,000 people watching, he's got like millions of subscribers. I think that you guys are fucking incredible, and comparatively support me more than Tim's people support him, which is fucking amazing. But yeah, he's had quite a fair few super chats. Do you think he'll read them out? Because I always read out all my super chats.
First issue is you making the presumption that the claim at first is correct and absolute.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said Alex isn't immediately wrong.
Yeah,
he said that the globe is. Oh, no, hold on.
50% of the ball is lit.
And then he had to correct you. So
The 90%
Because of the
number
population,
counts as
because
the
the
issue is you're
population
making an
working.
argument against someone's argument instead of an argument for what is.
Well, yeah, what is known is that something like 90% of the world's population is in daylight, and they kind of stretch it based on astronomical twilight. But if you actually look at the projection of the Earth, if you look at the globe model, right, for those people at where they're located to also be in light and not just astronomical twilight, then the light has to actually cover more than half the ball. So you're going to have to claim the
No,
light
it
bends
doesn't.
around it, which don't worry.
It doesn't. He is lying. Let's do it here. Right, I'm going to put my index finger on the coast of the United States and my pinky finger on the coast of Australia. And I'm going to get them both in view. There we go. Index finger, Australia. Right? So the fact that the camera can see those, both, where I'm touching the ground, shows that the Earth can be lit like that.
People have no problem claiming it. They claim whatever they need to. They'll claim that the light will bend all the way around the ball.
Baba Ali says, what's the average age of your audience and what do you think Tim's is? The average age of my audience is about my age, actually, around 40. And I don't know. I think Tim's probably a little younger.
they need to. Whenever I see mountains from hundreds of miles away, the light just spins around the globe. But that is what he's talking about. There's two different portions, right? The 90% number is technically wrong if you present it as if it's physically impossible.
Speaking of that, I wanted to answer your question about Michigan. Okay. So Joshua in the wiki, you familiar with him?
Yeah, of course.
He's the guy that takes the pictures.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a big section about that in the book here. He only does it in April and May.
Okay.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, I guess the weather's better. There's
well, the weather's changing. Okay. So the water keeps the temperature for a longer period of time than the air does.
Okay.
Okay. So we're just coming out of winter. The water's cold. The air starts warming up.
Yes.
As soon as that air starts warming up, you're going to get light refraction.
Yeah. So you say it's just all refraction.
Well, that's
you think it's a mirage, though?
Do I think it's a mirage?
I mean, basically, wouldn't that be it?
Adam Bartlett says, Craig, you probably think that Paul versus Tyson was authentic. Blah, ha, ha, ha. Nah, not completely. You can literally see the point where Jake Paul said to Tyson, take it easy. And then the point where Jake Paul kind of stopped really trying. Yeah, that wasn't a real fight.
We're not actually looking at it.
Mirage, illusion, whatever. The reason you're seeing Chicago skyline is because the light beam is being curved by the refraction due to the temperature difference between the water and the air.
Do you know about the Flying Dutchman?
No, Dutch Bros Coffee. I don't know the Flying.
Are you familiar with the Flying Dutchman?
Tobacco.
the ship that was so they would see ships flying above the water in the during the colonial period, and the legend emerged of the Flying Dutchman ghost ship.
Yeah,
it's just refraction of light made it appear that it was higher than it really was.
And sometimes they were upside down.
Yeah, these things happen. Yeah, I think Astronomy Live's just letting three idiots have a conversation at this point. Who Stole Halleck for $2 says, you even read the silly super chats. Yeah, it's actually in the NASA contract that I have to read out whatever you put into super chats. So, it's not really my choice.
Yeah, but really what happens in those is actually the boat doesn't just get lifted.
And to be clear, anything you put in super chats, I have to say, anything.
The water would have to get lifted too, right? Because there's light coming off the water. It's actually that there's a reflective inferior situation that happens for Fata Morgana. It actually it reflects down, so it creates a mirror effect, so it makes it look like it's up in the sky, but it's actually not. I don't dispute optical effects. What I do dispute is just assuming that the sphere is a certain size, therefore it must bend this certain amount, because I went to that Chicago location, and there were wildfires.
Well, we don't assume. We've measured and checked.
In the west, coincidentally, so I couldn't see anything. You couldn't even see a mile. But I talked to all the locals. They said you see it throughout the year. They said it's very frequent, certainly at sunset, that you see Chicago. So it isn't just those couple months or anything. It happens regularly. And then there is an observation that you can predict years in advance every year.
All right. For some reason, people have started turning my chat into an AOL chat room and putting age, sex, location. All right. Let's just see if you're willing. Just put your ASL in the chat so we know roughly who you all are. Literally not seen that since AOL. But yeah, I'll do mine. 41, male, 5, Scotland.
2 days a year. I think it's in September and February. In Canigou, right, in France, you can see the Canigou Mountains from a distance that should be impossible just using geometry on a globe. And based on that time of year, the sun sets behind the mountains and creates a silhouette. And you can guarantee see those mountains line of sight directly in front of you on that specific day. You can book your flight right now, unless it's crazy.
Yeah, but you know what?
He has to assume that there's no refraction for that.
The Flying Dutchman crew upgraded their ship to a cargo freighter.
Two words Astronomy Live got out.
If your theory was correct, you should be able to get something as powerful as the Hubble Space Telescope, point it toward California, and you should be able to see some structure in California.
The Hubble Space Telescope wouldn't work on Earth, dude. It's not designed for that. You fucking dipshit. Janos Takos for 512 Huff says, computer, delete the folder C/wisdom/system32. Nope, she didn't want to. Hugh Jars for $5 Australian says, anything. I love Hugh Jars. His videos helped me be a better creator. I love his sexy rolls of fat. That's going to come back to haunt me.
No.
Why not?
I'll explain. So we'll actually use the Canigou explanation because it works perfectly. So before the sun goes behind Canigou, you can't see the mountains. You can't see them. You could only see the mountains once the sun gets behind it. Now, a lot of people would take that picture and say, see, this proves the globe. The mountain's below the curve of the earth. But then the sun gets behind it, you can see the mountains. The reason you can't see the mountains at first is because of attenuation, right? Like the light gets absorbed by the medium and it can't make it to you. Once the sun gets behind it, now the intensity of light is so much greater, it can actually make it through the medium, right? So the rate of attenuation is not going to affect the image as much, and you're able to see it. Now, even in the...
Right, so basically my audience is me, yeah? You're basically my age.
The globe paradigm, you would have to admit that. You would have to now say at just 150 miles, I can't see mountains that are in front of me because light gets attenuated and absorbed into the medium. So this idea that you can see...
I have no problem with that.
You couldn't see across the world. The telescope doesn't actually fight attenuation, right? Like we can.
Yeah, you can't see that. However, you can see stars on the horizon that are in the firmament. Cool story, bro.
See stars because we're looking up through the thinnest part of the atmosphere. And even there, we actually have 1 to 2 degrees. We have almost a whole degree that we can't really know.
Well, what's the farthest you think the Hubble telescope can see through atmosphere of the Earth?
You mean like laterally, like horizontally?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. It would few hundred miles because we see a few hundred miles regularly. And Mount Wilson, you know, if you got a higher elevation,
how could you prove a flat Earth then? If you can only see a couple hundred miles,
a few hundred. I mean, we have observations in planes with infrared where we've seen 5, 6.
Within that range of 200 miles, would Hubble be able to see a sublimation of the Chicago skyline?
It's all based on the attenuation of the atmos. It's always going to be based on the atmos.
No, Hubble's not designed for that. You dip. Shit.
Absorbed. The Canada proves
it. So your answer is how light's affected, right? That's what my answer is.
Yeah, but you're claiming it's bending at a certain rate. I'm just saying that light.
Literally every word that Scott gets out. Boom. No.
Attenuated.
Okay, so I'll say it's attenuated and it's bending.
But I can actually.
How does that prove a flat Earth?
Well, it doesn't. I can prove. Well, yeah, because you have to prove it, right? Like you can prove the rate at which it attenuates based on the actual medium. Based on the turbulence, the turbidity, and the actual.
Okay, so
go on then. Provide that proof. Witsit.
Third-party factors affecting how the light comes into your I-beam.
How far it can get to you from.
Okay, so how does that prove flat Earth?
Oh, because we can make observations consistently, predict them in the future from hundreds of miles away, where the mountain should be miles at times, up to 2 miles below Earth curvature. I can book a.
If you ignore refraction, yes.
Flight.
How could you prove that if light's attenuated and it bends?
Well, the light attenuation is just proven by the fact you can't see the mountains until the sun sets behind it.
That means it's something, the light's being affected somehow, right?
But it's being absorbed by the medium. Once the sun gets behind, the sun's so much brighter that it makes it through the medium. But you're claiming that it's bending, and that I can book my flight right now.
You don't
go
believe
see
light
that
refraction?
mountain. Yeah,
refraction.
I do believe in refraction.
You believe temperature can cause light refraction?
In a singular medium, it can have effects. You can label it as refraction, but Snell's law is based on 2 medium, and this word just.
Yeah, medium 1, our atmosphere density of 14.7 psi. Medium 2, our atmosphere of 14.6 psi.
Thrown around. It's just thrown around. No one can show this in a lab. I keep asking, show me an equation, because according to
Wait a minute. My question was...
Fermat's law of refraction. There we go. That's the equation we would use.
You believe light refraction can be caused by a temperature difference between water and air?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't discount light refraction like we're just making this up.
No,
right?
no, not when properly defined what refraction means. But to every time to say, I know this amount of refraction is happening without looking at the variables and without actually making the measurements of the temperature.
He's denying that atmospheric refraction is a thing.
Gradients, the density gradients, and just saying it must be curving this amount because my presupposed sphere.
We don't say that, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, if you look at the Chicago skyline photos, they're all different. Some show buildings coming higher up out of the water. Some show buildings that are thinner than they really are. Some show more color. Others are gray. Every time you take a picture of the Chicago skyline, it's different. Why? Yeah. Because you get different attenuation, you get different refraction. All kinds of things are different every single day.
Sure, but when it's clearer outside.
Clive Wells, that's fucking top secret, please, can you not? I should have been clone one day, male 5.
We see further. And your paradigm...
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but you have to claim when it's clear outside, that's when there's the most refraction. Because when it's clear outside, we're seeing the furthest.
Clear has nothing to do with how much the light's refracting.
Well, if it's the conditions of the medium that are supposedly refracting it, then the...
The temperature is the cause. Okay.
Okay.
Does it makes the air thinner or thicker?
One more thing before we wrap up here.
This is great, watching Witsit get schooled by another idiot. I always enjoy that. Because Robertson Dennis is like... And you know why he's right about this? Because I taught him about this during our debate.
The horizon in a globe is like this physical edge of a sphere, right? It's blocking things. It's a physical location. It's geometric. As in, on a globe, there's a physical location called the horizon blocking things in the distance.
That's an apparent horizon.
Wait, is it physical or apparent?
No, you see an apparent horizon because refraction's always there. You're not living in a vacuum.
So you have no evidence of this physical one. You have to assume it's there. We see the horizon goes up.
No, because you only have an apparent something if there is a physical something. It's the apparent position of that physical thing. Monkey Cat Pat Pat says for $2, computer shut down Cologne. Alright. Backup systems activated, no clone ready. What? Who? What's going on? Oh, I'm live, right. Who stole Halleck for $2 says super chat for a brief Witsit break and face relief. Alright, we'll take Witsit off of the screen for 1 minute and I'll replace him instead with...
Now that I think about it, the sun, we're told, is a big gaseous ball burning in space in a vacuum. By the way, since we're on the subject of vacuums, fire, the element by which the sun exerts its energy, and I don't care if it's nuclear fission or what, it's still fire, needs what element, folks, in order to continue to burn? Oxygen.
And down moves all over. We can see from 100 miles away. Consistently, I can shoot lasers over frozen lakes, different colors, different heights, even if they're different distances, they'll stay the same height over frozen lakes. I can see specular reflections over great distances. If the
refraction still happens over frozen lakes.
Surface was convex or concave, you wouldn't see that. And there are many, all the evidence shows, and just saying the word refraction isn't a get out of jail card, of all the physical evidence that consistently shows we can see way beyond the curve. You have to prove there's a physical...
We can't see way beyond the curve when you take into account refraction.
Hill in front of me blocking things, and there's simply not. I can shoot radar through it.
So I've witnessed a Falcon 9 landing on the drone ship. You know how they land on the boat in the water? Just after they were doing a Dragon test and they accidentally blew up one of their Dragon capsules, they couldn't land at the landing zone because they had debris all over it. So they brought the drone ship in real close to shore, 17.8 miles offshore. So I was able to witness this Falcon 9 landing on the drone ship. The engines are very bright, as this thing's landing, and I'm watching it obscured by the horizon as it's landing 17.8 miles offshore. The bottom 2/3 of the rocket were blocked. According to the globe, that's what I should have seen, with refraction accounted for. So yes, refraction's a part of it. Also, it had a nice specular highlight across the Atlantic Ocean coming up to me that was very visible. So if it's not curved, why can I see a specular highlight? And then if it's not curved, why is the bottom 2/3 of the rocket blocked after it lands?
You can see specular reflection. It's because that requires a flat surface.
And if it's flat, then why is it blocked by the lower 2/3 of the rocket?
So you made a false claim about the specular reflection that only works on a flat surface because you get a diffuse reflection.
Water's not flat, especially at sea. It's got waves and shit. So your argument doesn't work.
It's convex concave, but the horizon's apparent. It rises optically, and the most dense part of the atmosphere is the bottom. The most dense, so that's going to block the most things from the bottom. Now, you said you accounted for refraction. You did not measure the density and temperature and then put in a refractive equation and determine how much should be missing. What you did was notice that it didn't match the globe. And then you had to add refraction because you saw too much of the rocket. It should have been more blocked. You assumed, oh, it must be lifted up behind the curve, and it's actually
no. I recorded what the temperature was that day. Anyway, so the bottom 2/3 of the rocket was blocked, and the bottom part of the rocket is where all the flame is. That's the hottest, brightest part of it. So why am I able to see this dim little part at the top, but not the bright part of the flame at the bottom? And I'm getting specular highlights and reflections off the water that's supposedly flat, yet it's blocking the 2/3 bottom part of the rocket. Last thing I want to ask you, Witsit, before we wrap up,
you claim a bottoming up obstruction is impossible on a flat Earth.
So you haven't explained it. That's for sure.
New to this.
But here's the thing I want to ask you. It's before we wrap up. Is you're going to Antarctica for TFE, right? And I applaud you for taking up that offer. So what are you expecting to see? I want to know what you're expecting to see. Are you expecting to see the sun set in Antarctica, or are you not? And if so, why?
I have no idea. I don't actually have an expectation. I don't know. That's why I'm going.
What if the Earth is flat, but like that? You know what I mean? Like does that work for you?
No, I think it would be a bowl, if anything, like a basin, the ocean, right?
Wait, is he trying to go concave? Fuck.
And wouldn't you see the sun all the time?
Well, it just gets so far away you can't see it. As to what's going to happen in Antarctica, I don't know. Like that's why I want to go. Is because
if it gets far away, it would get smaller. Not just go down.
Well, technically, it actually does get smaller. Even in the globe paradigm, it gets smaller. It actually changes to noon. It should change again. That's never been measured. But
how do you explain the sun?
Yeah, I know. I watched how he totally misdirected Ice Soldier 74.
That's it.
It's just like the streetlights, right? So like, as it moves away, it looks like it goes down, and then it gets so far beyond you can't see it through the air anymore, right? It goes beyond that point. The horizon's apparent. It gets behind the convergence point. Just like railroads converge, if you flip them on their side, that's like the sky and the ground. That's what perspective does. And even in the globe paradigm, they claim like when you see the sunset, it's actually not there.
But you're arguing that like the sunset is vanishing point?
Well, yeah, it gets beyond the you could say quote unquote vanishing point. Sure, it gets beyond the limit of your vision, the apparent horizon. It gets beyond the convergence point.
Is that because it's only 27 miles in diameter?
I don't make any claims as to the size, but I will say you can prove this. Sometimes the sun disappears above the horizon, and even when it disappears above the horizon at sunset, it has a perfect horizontal line cutting off the bottom of it. So how's that work? If it's the curve of the Earth, right? But it's not.
Yes, Lexus. If it's a bowl, that debunks his caustic reflection shit.
That's because there are horizontal layers of atmosphere. The sun moves beyond it, and so all the evidence shows the Earth.
Will you be willing to admit that the Earth is round if you go to Antarctica, and it looks round?
Well, I don't see it looks round. I mean, I'm taking an infrared camera, and I'm gonna probably see 100, 200 miles in the plane. Antarctica, the only way it would prove it is if I could fly over the South Pole, pop back up on the other side. I'm very interested in the observation. That's obviously why I'm going. It's 11 days. It's very convenient. I don't blame Alex for not going. So it's 11 days. It's super cold.
Scared.
I am scared.
It's also kind of scary in a way, right? So, but we'll see what happens.
We're gonna wrap things up. This was a lot of fun. I love this. It was great to have these very.
Well, thank God, because that was driving me fucking crazy listening to the stupid. It's annoying how little Astronomy Live actually got to talk, but hey, 3 idiots. A lot of clips there that I can take stuff from. Definitely making a video on Witsit's performance there. Guys, I want to say thank you very much for the incredible amount of support you've shown me over the past couple of days. I've gained like a couple hundred members and a ridiculous amount of super chats. And I've had a lot of fun with you being here with me. Thank you to Astronomy Live for coming on. I'm going to go away because it's bedtime for me. I'll be back tomorrow with another stream. And in the meantime, important question, can we pretend airplanes are like shooting stars?
And we
we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
Good morning. These words come with a storm warning. Better batten down the hatches, grab some matches and brace yourself for a long day of misery. YouTube has given me the power to reach up into the sky and show you all that we live on the ball. I bring you science that's comprehensible. Your view is indefensible. You're reprehensible. No, I'm Mr. Sensible. When I was young, I never thought I would be here to see this. A pile of random nonsense dressed up as bullshit. Your ignorance will be the death of us all, like running head first full speed into a wall. You could always read a book, buy a telescope, set it up and take a photo of the moon, or just be a buffoon. I send you in a balloon up to the stratosphere on page 3.
You're a few fries short of a happy meal. You're dumber than a box of hair. The wheel's spinning but the hamster's dead, and you're as smart as bait. You forgot to pay your brain bill. You're missing a few buttons on the remote control. 24 cents short of a quarter. You're surfing in Nebraska. You're as bright as Alaska in December, and you fell out of your family tree. You don't have all the cornflakes in one box. You got an IQ of 2 and it takes 3 to grunt. The elevator doesn't go all the way up, and there's a vacancy on the top floor. Your antenna doesn't pick up all the channels. You're several nuts short of a
You're Mr.
fruitcake.
Sensible, calm down, don't go too hard. You don't need to have Siberian Flerfs in your backyard. You're a man of science, poise and grace. Mage 2 did everything to wipe the grins off the face. So Nathan, get away from those kids. The world is not flat and it doesn't have a lid. Recognize the differences between the textbook and the Bible and control yourself. Lay off your slander and your lies. You're a bunch of knobs poisoning the well of the youth, spreading lies that you like to claim as knowledge and truth. Stop spreading fresh bullshit like the butter on your bread. Maybe a musical assault will knock some sense into your head. I hope one day you'll hear these lyrics and smile, and you realize you used to be a 40-year-old child. Now it's time to wake up, open your eyes and see, and acknowledge the existence of
Gravity! You're a few clowns short of a circus. Your phone is off the hook. Your sewing machine is out of thread. You're all foam and no beer. You don't have all your dogs on one leash. An intellect rivaled only by garden tools. There's no grain in your silo, and your skylight leaks a little. Your belt doesn't go through all the loops. You couldn't pour water out of a boot without instructions on the heel. Your slinky's kinked, and you're proof that evolution can work in reverse. A few feathers short of a whole duck, one fruit short of a full bowl.
Airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars. Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Should be wishing for a brain right now, brain right now, brain right now.
You thought it was over? Well, I'm still standing while you're swinging, flinging feces, talking shit just like the human centipede. You got the mind of a chimp, and I'm here to expedite your shore leave. Cause I'm a seaman, but not the kind I ripped up from your mom's gums. I'm the kind that sailed submarines and fired guns. I could float a boat across the ocean with my eyes closed, circumnavigate the globe with a compass and a bag of sausage rolls. Well, all you can do is nibble on your toes. I'll smack you with the hose that you call a water level, sit and swivel. You nasal gazing muppet, you can stuff it harder than the wallet stuffed by Warren Buffett. And I don't care about your sauces unless you're serving them, and I don't care about your lines unless you're curving them. Now step away from me, you're sucking up my oxygen with the vacuum where your brain should be, you dumb fuck. Thank you everybody for an amazing couple of streams. Do me a favour, let's get the Globber Mum love in the chat. Rest in peace, you were the best of us. You were my Globber Mum. Huge Arse says that Witsit needs word salad. Witsit needs this. Yes, he does. Thank you very much. And Totemaj says Flat Earth is just cancer. It's just like cancer. Evil. Yeah, fuck cancer. Fuck Flat Earth. Remember, stupidity is not a right. See you tomorrow. Fight the Flat Earth. Fight the flat. 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 Fight the flat.
Hi, my name's Nathan Oakley, and I have been lying to people about the Earth being flat for a lot of years. I did this to hide the fact I have a small penis.
I'm a dumb flat earther, and I don't understand science.
Level